Welcome back, one and all, for DreamWorks Dungeons and Dragons. I am your Dungeon Master, August Schmid, and holy cow, it's been a hot second, but we're back with the Dragon Warriors. How are we feeling, Dragon Warriors?
We just got out of a big combat. Boom!
Yeah, that was an insane combat last time. Gosh, notable stuff. You guys made it all the way down into the Underdark. You were following through certain paths to take out this demon's nest that the Toad asked you to do, because if you did so, Toad was willing to offer you guys an army. You got all the way down. Artie did some insane stuff where Artie was able to break this diamond that the demon Envy had to release Castiel, this angel. But also, he was able to kill Envy. With Kai and Poe, you guys started wrecking through pretty much wave after wave. Pinocchio offering amazing support with some key Eldritch Blast to drag different members into the Underdark rivers. All of you guys holding off just enough until kind of as, I don't want to call it like good luck, but because Artie did release Castiel, eventually Castiel did come back with a garrison of angels to destroy the remaining demons and ogres for you guys.
Yeah, I'm an ally.
You guys are,
I
yeah.
don't think you're an ally. The way you said that makes me worried. Because I was just realizing, hey, wait a minute. There are no enemy witnesses of me relearning the Wuxi Fingerhold.
So
Living enemy witnesses. All of them are dead or in the river. Only the party knows that I'm
Yeah, because Poe has relearned the Wuxi Fingerhold.
And the Charming in this timeline didn't see me do it.
So gang, we will begin here in the Underdark. As we come to, the first thing to look at is character levels. This is something I am actually pretty excited for you guys. I do believe you leveled up, but I'm going to double check. Let's see.
Oh wait, no, I already leveled up.
Wait.
Everyone should be at level 9.
Okay.
Okay.
Shame.
Yes, we all just got to level 9.
That's right, because I made it so now not only can I push people 10 feet away, I can pull people 10 feet away.
So you can just kind of...
Yeah, no, I'm
Or is it like a choose thing?
Yeah. It is a choice, actually, if you have both. It's... I guess you could do both and then just go...
Suffer.
Suffer, yeah.
Give them whiplash, just...
That's my job, actually.
So yeah, you're all level 9.
Still kind of bloody, but it's fine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, people are still pretty messed up right now. It was a pretty big fight. But you are all here in the Underdark. It is a pretty insane sight. You see, Castiel has brought down a garrison of angels, probably about 12 strong. And you're kind of just watching, these angels are wrecking house. You're noticing, like, they're not even stopping. It's like they will knock an enemy, and they have such determination as an enemy flies into the wall, cracking the rock, blood draining from them. The angel doesn't even stop to check that they're down. They just kind of keep walking and just keep going through. As you're all gathering up here on this bank of the river, Castiel turns to you all, specifically to Artie, and goes, "Thank you. It was rather unfortuitous to get caught, but I hope that this repays our favor."
Yeah, better.
It better. Yeah, you guys kind of all like nod. Castiel just, wonderful. Champions and chosen of the high gods. Good luck. And you see, he looks out. The garrison of angels have now started just, again, it's like when fire burns away moss and spiderweb. It just kind of grows. You're just watching angels spread out from this place, just destroying demon after demon.
The Battle of Pelennor Fields when the ghosts arrived, just that slow.
Well, it's a combo of Pelennor Field because the angels themselves are attacking ogres and demons, and others are just in full tilt retreat too. Like, some demons aren't waiting to get murdered. They're just misting out and turning into black smoke. And so you see Castiel, the angel of chastity, kind of looks and just, Very well. And you see, he gives you all just a quick once over, just farewell and good luck on your missions. And you see he immediately starts glowing with light. You kind of shield your eyes, and in a moment, he and all the angels are gone, and so is everyone down here. This giant cavernous portion of the Underdark is now empty. I would actually say, for your party, what do you guys want to do? Because right now, it's rather echoey and...
We've unlocked safe travel
loot
mode.
the place.
Yeah, loot.
You guys want loot?
No, what do the boys online
What do the boys want to do? What are the boys?
And I also texted you.
Alright, tap tap.
The rest. What Artie wants to do is rest. Load that.
So loot, and Artie's like, sleep, please, can we stop?
Ian's giving me a look like he doesn't trust me anymore.
No. It's that I respect you to the highest degree out of game. In game, Poe is very trusting. Out of game, you have my utmost respect.
Here we go, gang. What I will ask is, for anyone who wants to rest, you may immediately start taking a short rest.
Never mind, you're right. I should rest.
Short rest. But if you want to, instead of short resting, start trying to loot the place, go ahead, give me an investigation check.
My investigation's grand.
Short rest time.
Ooh, that's a good roll. 19.
All right, 19. Nathan, did you want to loot or rest?
13. Oh, jeez, my microphone. I need to buy a new head.
Oh, I feel that. You're good. Sweet. Sorry, gang. I'm also, like, trying to make a quick cream cheese bagel while we talk. So, as one does.
Mode.
Cool. So, members of the party, you guys do start resting. So, yeah, Pinocchio and Artie, you guys just kind of, like, rightfully so, flomp down and immediately begin that short rest. Poe and Kai, you guys start looting the place. I will say, you're noticing that, unfortunately, there's not, like, of immediate big stuff. Most of what you're finding is, like, okay, a lot of stuff that, like, armies could use, like, weapons in general, armor, nothing that's, like, better than what you have. But eventually, I will say, Poe, you got the higher roll. You and Kai head forward, and you will start finding bigger tent areas where you could assume, like, leaders would have been, like, Envy. And you'll find some pretty cool stuff. You guys will find a bag that has almost 400 gold pieces in it. You will also find a... let me make sure I'm telling this right. You'll also find a bag that you can assume to be a bag of holding.
I'm not carrying all my supplies on my back anymore. It's
yeah, Poe, you could, like, actually have, like, a portable pot. Because Poe, again, canonically, Poe has been full, like, backpacker in the woods this whole time. Yeah.
That size on a panda.
Pots and pans in the kitchen. So, Poe, and you'll notice the bag of holding is unfortunately empty, and you think it might be some demon or whatever when they were fleeing just kind of grabbed their stuff and went. So it is that, like, it's not great that it's empty, but it is an empty bag of holding.
Are you sure it's about... I mean, I'm asleep.
Do you sleep? Or do you just
Well,
stay
no,
in a motionless
I'm not asleep.
state?
I'm just going...
Because I think you could talk.
Yeah, everyone's looting, and Pinocchio just kind of, like, to the ground, and just, like, not looking, not blinking, just kind of... It's full Gandalf in Return of the King, where they're like, your eyes are just open.
Kai, do you want to split the gold 50-50, 200-200?
The best.
Say again.
Kai, do you want to split the gold 50-50, 200-200?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Alright.
Make sure the bag is at...
Artie's got enough. Once we take his kingdom back.
Yeah, Artie's, like, loaded. And so it's like, ooh, spending cash. You guys find some cash. After a short time, I will say, it's been an hour of, again, this short rest of Poe and Kai run off, start going. Artie and Pinocchio have been, like, tending to wounds. Pinocchio just... Family Guy death pose on the ground. And so you guys, what I would ask of
And into the abyss.
Into the abyss is, do you guys want to like try to head back quickly? Because right now you're noticing like, oh, we're pretty free right now. At any time, other creatures of the Underdark could start coming into this place.
Okay.
But like, it's not like, do we want to just like, ooh, let's hotfoot it back to far, far away?
I think let's instead try to hotfoot it back to the pit.
Yeah.
Where we can meet back up with the toad.
Get our army.
Okay. So sorry. I will stop eating a bagel. Cool.
I'll leave it for
I'm
you.
also no.
You guys
you
can
will
start
eat
heading
food.
back to Underway, the wonderful Under Far Far Away area where you know that the toad, the sewers, the pits are. As you guys head back, I will actually let you know it's not going to require any rolls getting back. There's really no more encounters as word has spread, and there is kind of like before a major tsunami, a huge drawback of forces and creatures in the Underdark. As a garrison of angels just actively came through and cleansed this place, for lack of a better word. And so you would notice, like, even the, like, oh, we're, like, passing back through these, like, different mushroom caverns and strange undergrowth gnarled trees. There's also straight up, like, oh, there's people that should have been here. Like, you would assume, like, ratfolk or drow on these outskirts of Underway that have gone, that have said, let's dip.
Man? Where is
Oh, so the angel.
Frankie the rat?
Frankie the Rat did say he was going to come back.
We're gonna meet up
He
with.
was swimming back. Remember, he was like,
We'll
"Well,
find him."
I can't pay for."
He couldn't pay for the return trip, so
Yeah.
he had to swim back.
We'll find our guy right.
As we start going back, we're like, "All right."
You guys do get headed back. You find the ferry, which of course is a insurmountable fee at this point. I actually think you did buy the round trip tickets.
We did for us, except for.
You exactly. You bought. You prepaid round trip, and that like yeah, we'll be coming back through. Frankie, figure it out. By the time you head back to the ferry, you see some of the drow see you guys approaching. You'd even see this drow captain that's kind of helping with the barge. As you're all piling in, just kind of, there's a lot of noise going on down in here. Have you all spotted anything out in the, and kind of gestures his thumb just out east where like the nest used to be. Anything weird coming? You're the first travelers I've had that weren't running.
Everybody's running from something.
The drow kind of like looks at the four of you and just, all right, weird. And before too long, this ferry will push off back into Underway. As you all move through, you see the barge again, this kind of collection of trash bags and rubber bags that have been like inflated to keep you all afloat in this truly disgusting river. Eventually you all see Underway off in the distance. Large city, very much built out of the muck. It's like, if the Underdark had an equivalent for marshland, it's what Underway should have been. But again, so you're seeing like in the outlines of the city, these low swamplands make way for the big pipes, sewer systems, and grates. And eventually you are back in this kind of metropolis of drow and ratfolk, grung. Every so often you are spotting like the additional deep gnomes, Duergar, like the folks of the Underdark who kind of just appear every so often. And as you all go through, eventually, you find yourselves right back in front of Toad's personal little manor hall. You're not sure if he's home or not, as the doors are closed. And I will say, passive perception-wise, you did not see Frankie on the way here.
Oh no, Frankie!
Buddy.
That's the only NPC I care about. If he dies, I'm leaving.
Who's Frankie?
Frankie the rat?
Frankie was the low-level servant, the weird guy. He was very invested in his
liquid gold.
No, he never said gold.
It was
Whatever he had in that little bottle of his, bro.
Exactly.
He's soon to be Arthur's court executioner.
Yeah, court executioner for Artie one day. He called it his liquid money, or his liquid currency.
But it was just Go-Gurt, you know?
It was like the consistency of a Go-Gurt packet.
Okay, the way you're describing him now, since I just rewatched it, reminds me of the American Willem Dafoe rat from Fantastic Mr. Fox.
I love that dog. Dog with a W.
So yes, you did not see Frankie, but you guys are back in front of the large double-set doors in the sewer pipe leading to Toad's Manor. What do you want to do?
So Toad.
Is Frankie in there?
No, we're talking for Toad. We're looking for Toad.
I'm gonna make a sheer luck roll. Yeah. So Poe, you help knock on the door. Pinocchio, where's Frankie?
Where is he? Where is he?
You see, the door opens up. You don't see Frankie. You do see a different rat folk. This guy looks pretty intimidating. He's got one of those, like, thimble caps that you use for sewing. He has one of those grafted into his nose.
Yo.
Over the top of it, like burned in kind of vibe. And he's got a lot of scars and everything. Opens the door. How can I help you?
I look over at Artie and say, "You want to say anything?"
No. I mean, do we even have to say anything at this point?
We're looking to talk to Mr. Toad.
We cleared out that demon nest.
You did?
Yeah.
One moment.
Oh, should we have brought proof?
I was gonna say, you didn't technically bring a
I
lot of
have
proof.
the bag of holding from the demon nest.
That could be anything. But,
No,
oh, we got this!
imagery on
This
it,
dude looks
nothing,
here.
just-
And that's, nice.
Yeah.
He'll say, give me a moment. He's gonna close the doors. I'm gonna make a luck check.
Talk of the Underdark has been nothing about it.
Few minutes pass, opens the door. Alright. Boss will see you. Step on in. He's gonna lead you through the pipes through Toad's little manor hall. Eventually, you get back to that same room you first encountered Toad in. It's right above the pits, all the fighting arenas. So that of like low, heavy metal and music is beating through the floor, but very muffled now that you're in like this quiet box room. The Ratfolk leads you in, double taps kind of inside the door frame. Hey, boss, they're back. And you see the Toad turns around. You notice the Toad, he's dressed a little differently than last you saw him. Last you saw him, he had that like big old red velvet robe stuff. He is wearing like that very like 3 button down open shirt rolled up on his weird little Toad spindly fingers. Kind of that like modern billionaire vibe where it's like, oh, I'm so casual, but the shirt costs like tens of thousands of dollars.
He's actually just wearing a whole bunch of laundry underneath there, and that's why his outfit's so expensive.
That's what?
Sure. We'll canonize it.
Canon. I am also wearing ladies' underwear.
I'm wearing ladies' underwear! And see Toad. What? What the fuck?
I'm wearing. I see you.
Toad cocks an eyebrow, turns to the 4 of you as he just... Huzzah! Welcome back! I've heard rumors from my scouts that certain demons have been, murdered!
Yeah. We did that.
That's correct.
Whoa! Whoa! A celebration is in order! He snaps at you. A lot of food is brought, a lot of wine.
I guess I can soak in the wine, but
No.
Pinocchio usually goes, oh, you can recork the bottles for us when they're done.
Here's my idea. You know how like wood stains whenever you put
I know.
too much on?
I was like,
You can give yourself makeup with
don't
wine.
want makeup with wine.
You You can make yourself bleed with wine.
So, Poe, as you're trying to convince Pinocchio in the corner to, like, make up himself,
you can bleed
you see
yourself with
the
wine.
Toad looks over at Kai and Artie. He's kind of, like, looking at you all. So, tell me, how did you do it? I heard the nest was cleared, but I would love to hear your exploits.
We killed them. Period.
That's not very theatrical.
See, Toad kind of goes, well, that's, simple. To the point. Very brisk.
I mean, Artie just rushed down the main guy, cut off his head, shoved the sword in his stomach, gone. Then waves after waves came. We had to deal with that. I just blasted into a few cows, played everywhere. Yeah, she drug people into the river.
Toad, no, that's what I'm talking about. You know, and again, he looks back at you, Artie, and the four of you. If you ever want a profession down here, I could hire you as personal fighters.
Later.
I consider it.
No.
No. Just, you do see...
Oh, all of us have money!
Pinocchio, I am broke.
I broke
You see, the Toad is, I will say, all of you would know his passive, why.
Gold.
It's not like the Toad's true avoiding it, but he is kind of like stalling the, how shall we call this? He's stalling the payment part of this conversation. Like, he's like, tell me about the fight, tell me, like, bringing in food. He's not really wanting you think to talk about, like, payment.
I got 27 gold right now, dog. I need...
Oh, no, your money's not good here. Please, another round. And he puts a plate of food in your hand.
He pays
What
us.
the fuck is this supposed to mean?
I know it's a touchy subject, but sometime we need to make a move. We just need to find out when it'll be.
A move, you say?
I'm looking over at Artie as like, hey, my guy, you got a lot to say here and a lot to persuade. I'm the panda. You, my guy, are the future king who needs to alliance everything.
You promised an army, Toad.
The Toad,
And that's what I'm hoping.
Toad very much is, well, very much so. An army. Well, let's talk brass tacks. Your goal is to, what is that exactly? You want to depose Charming? Kill him?
Usurp.
Usurp! Oh, good word. A well-bred puppet, aren't you?
Yeah. I have a sticker I think you'd really appreciate. It's called Utah Board, Utah Bread. B-R-E-A-D.
Bread. Well,
Bread.
I can offer you, well, army's not a great word. You see he kind of gestures with one of his eyes. It's that very unnerving where one eye is trained on you all, and the other eye just goes, and just turns to the left. And he looks out in this kind of glass floor-ish window, down towards the pits, towards the fighting arena, where you see a lot of those big fighters, again, drow and rat folk, cyclops and ogres who are just fighting for sport. He goes, all of my paid contractors have a minor addendum to their clause that I can conscript them into an army as needed. So, well, let's see, a couple fighters, few out on broken teeth, one killed every so many days. It would give you about 100 well-trained fighters.
I mean, it's
How many?
100.
2?
Well, not a bad number. But the concern is they're fighters. There's a big difference between those two.
Yes, I suppose so. But let's be reasonable. Fighters I can offer. They come and they go, and they're stronger, yes. My soldiers, and any soldiers I could offer, well, that could be seen as quite a poor act on my part to send my soldiers to usurp the king. And this is where I will say, For Artie and anyone who wants to help, this is going to be a bit of a persuasion check. It's not a wild DC.
I got you.
It's a DC. We can either make it as a group, or you can do like a let's all pile in to add something to someone else.
Help action.
Never
That's all I
mind.
can do.
I'm not good at perception. I lied.
No, it's persuasion.
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 Um,
I'm
I
really
got
good at-
perception, you got persuasion.
So, Poe, you're willing to offer help action to Artie on a persuasion check. Is there anything else people want to try to offer in on this?
Is there no way that I could deceive?
I don't think deception's... it's not like deception's a bad thing, but it won't do a lot to either lower the DC in this case, because it's like, well...
That's fair. That's valid. Yeah.
We have no truth to hide.
Well, I could place.
What was that, Kai?
Oh. Say that after me.
I didn't say anything. I guess my mic was causing feedback.
Oh, you're good. I thought you were, like, offering something, so I just didn't want to, like, lose that.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Sweet.
But I wouldn't mind a group one. I mean, I guess for the persuasion. So yeah.
Here's what we'll do.
Play a little tune.
You want to play
Yeah.
a little
I want to
tune?
play a little tune.
What are you hoping to achieve out of
I'm
this little
hoping
tune?
to achieve a sense
I guess getting a decent army
of peace.
A sense-
ish.
All right. Here's what we'll say. We'll start with if Artie, you can roll me a persuasion advantage. Kai, you can roll me a persuasion. Pinocchio, a performance to try to make it more palatable. Right? Again, the idea of food and
Wait, did
drink-
you say I can roll persuasion with advantage? Sorry.
Yes. Poe is offering you the help action, so we have a advantage persuasion.
Cool.
Is that for everyone already?
That is for it's for everyone, but Artie gets the advantage.
I'll get a net 1 and a 4. So I rolled a 9. Bro. I rolled a 5. I got a natural 1.
What?
is... Ah.
So I rolled an 18 on my song, you know?
Guys, quit.
I'm tired, okay? That's my excuse for bad rolls.
Should I just...
Poe, I will let you know, Poe, if you don't roll at least a 17 persuasion check, and we're gonna make this a box of doom. This is wild, Poe. Go ahead, hand me the box of doom.
+2.
No, I'm a +9. What?
Why did you persuade?
Why?
Because my performance is also a +9.
Here we go. Hand me the box of doom. Welcome to the box of doom. On the wildest I didn't think we would have to do this. But yes,
We're not even a few minutes
Poe,
in.
what is your modifier to persuasion?
+2.
So you have to roll 15.
You need a 15 or higher for this to work.
Check something on my sheet. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go.
Don't have much of this.
Wait, do I have guidance? I don't think I have guidance.
I don't think you have guidance.
Wrong character, wrong time.
It's a natural 2. Does anyone have a point of inspiration they could use?
Don't use it on me. Use it on someone with a
Mm.
gun.
Yeah, not that I remember, honestly. I don't think I do.
Wait.
Okay.
Oh, I don't. Depending on what the hate is, they do have luck, though.
Artie does have luck, because yeah, it has been a day, so Artie could use luck for this.
So can I just re-roll my persuasion?
Artie
Yes.
can re-roll his persuasion.
Cool. I will see if that makes it. If not, I have a backup to
Flat or advantage?
So it's gonna
Alright.
be a flat roll. The idea of luck being like we're just counting it as a re-roll.
Oh, 17.
17
Oh, yeah.
exactly. As- I think it's a matter of Poe and Kai are just not very persuasive, and Pinocchio is just ding 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 ding, just on this mandolin. It is really tense, and you see Toad is just getting so aggravated. Artie, what do you say to get these troops?
Wait, what? What'd you say?
I'm saying, what do you want to say to Toad? What do you think is going to turn Toad's mind? Because you beat the DC barely. How are you getting the troops? How do you think this conversation goes down?
So Artie's just gonna put his fist, not punch, but you know how people put their fists on the table?
Yeah.
And he's just gonna look Toad dead in the eye and he's gonna say, "You promised an army and also our lives, so I expect you to deliver."
You see, Artie, I'll give you this passively. The Toad looks pretty scared, actually, in this moment. You realize the Toad is not a fighter. He's a businessman. This is a man who manipulates and uses a lot of charisma. In this moment, you have a very physical advantage. And you see the Toad goes, well, of course. Let's talk soldiers. Soldiers, indeed. I'd be more than happy to... the Toad stands up. Well, for taking down a king, well, let's see. Charming has, what was that? 35,000 soldiers to his command, but it doesn't sound like you need physical soldiers. We're not waging a war.
35,000 as in 35 followed by 3 zeros, or 35 followed by 2 zeros?
35,000. 3 zeros.
Thank you.
But they're not all far, far away. You just need a group to be led forward to the gates of hell, so to speak. What could be a good, fair number? How about this? I can offer you 3,000 of my soldiers. That's with 3,000, 3, 0, 0, 0.
I'm doing the bookkeeping.
Yeah, Poe's kind of like taking notes here. But you see he goes, 3,000 soldiers to help provide, what would you say, a assault force on the main gates. But with this stipulation, my soldiers will be there to provide cover, but at a certain point, they will retreat back down to the sewers with me. I do not wish, in case this fails, and you see he does kind of like spread his big old warty hands wide in that like, hey, let's be honest, this is a big ask. If you fail, I would not like them to be murdered. I would lose quite a bit. But 3,000 soldiers.
Do you know any mercenaries?
He says, of course! And he gestures once again to the fighters. He's like, I have 100 mercenaries, 100 fighters that are more than willing. Each are powerful.
No. I mean mercenary armies. I have any.
Here's what I'll say, for the party. How much money do you want to drop on mercenaries? Because that's something, using the Toad, Artie is correct. You could use money to get mercenaries.
I got 27 gold, guys. I was a lion.
What? Okay, Kai and Artie, what are your guys' funds?
Are we sharing how much gold we have with the rest of the party?
Basically, so we know how much money could we collectively spend on mercenaries.
Here's what I will also
I have on me 473,365 gold pieces.
473,000.
That's right,
only.
because you got so much gold from...
Yeah, because I spent a lot already, but it's
You robbed
from, according to my notes, it's
You
from
don't know that, though.
Yeah, here's
the Dragon's Hoard.
How did you get that much gold?
He's a prince.
the Horde.
What?
He's literally supposed to be King Arthur.
The Horde.
Between the Dragon's Horde you guys stumbled into, the fight with Far Far Away.
We didn't find that dragon horde, did we?
Okay, pause.
Oh, hey, wait a minute! Isn't that the Commonwealth of the Chinese people?
We're not going to talk about what kingdom just got defunded. Here's what I will give you.
Already at least paid some of it back when we're done.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah, I gave Shifu some back, okay?
Yeah,
That's good.
I'll say.
I gave 300,000 to Shifu. That's enough.
Yeah,
I
it
guess,
is.
like, even just that, like, metagaming wise, we could assume, like, the gold already found wouldn't have been every cent,
Yeah.
because, like, that's a bit. But no, here's the nitty gritty. Hiring a mercenary in D&D, or just in any kind of world, is pretty flexible. For example, if you were to hire a mercenary for a day, it's usually about a silver piece, but that's not including costs of, like, food, weapons, lodging, training, anything like that. mercenary armies, or to that extent, you're talking a good maybe 10 gold a day for a mercenary, for like an army sense. So here's the thing. If we were to say, again, Artie's got funds. If we were to say like 470,000 gold divided by 10 gold, that's 47,000 men, but you're not going to get that many soldiers. Let's be real. Versus if we were to say like, hey, the Toad can offer 3,000 of his men, his soldiers, for a big strike force, we're talking 15,000 men, right? That kind of strike force would be huge. It does mean, though, 15,000 is the number of, like, safe strike force. 15,000 could definitely break into far, far away and do a lot of shit ton of damage. But that's going to be hard to sneak, even through the Underdark. Now, 5,000 is a bare minimum number. 5,000 is going to do what you need to do, because 5,000 plus the 3,000 gives you about 8,000. That's great. But if we're being really fair, you already have 3,000 from the Toad. You might want to hire 12,000 men. Or an army of 12,000 from somewhere. That can come from basically anywhere. Because that plus the Toad's army gives you a 15,000, and that's going to be something you'll be able to smuggle in through the Underdark, prepare, train, do what you need to.
Yes, but from where, and I do want
Now, here's what I will say. Because again, we're going step by step. This is a lot, right? 12,000 men means you're spending... Jeez Louise. 12,000 men means you're spending at least 120,000 gold pieces. But I will say, that's probably going to get you a good 2 weeks of these men, right? 10 gold for 2 weeks per person, right? Because again, normally it's a silver a day, but when you include cost, and then when you get the group sum and all that, so it'd be spending about almost a fourth of what Artie has, but it would get you a strike force that could easily overwhelm far, far away. Getting them is now...
then that 1/4 will be repaid because we will have the kingdom.
Exactly.
So technically, is money that we should spend, or I should spend.
It's more the idea of this is an investment. This turnout is exponential. Now here's the real kicker, though. I would like the party, Poe, Pinocchio, Artie, and Kai. We're gonna make a history check of who can we hire as mercenaries, because there's a lot that can come from.
I would like to say something that I just remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, go for it.
History-wise, when we were first meeting with the Thieves Guild and getting contracts, Artie openly just said, hey, what's everyone's feelings about Charmings? And they said, well, we don't like him. And Artie was like, so what happened if he were to be overthrown? I feel like that might be a good lead to follow up on.
There's a lot that could come from the Thieves Guild.
I could take
I got
a
a 10.
real. I could take a be real.
Alright, 10. Oh, Pinocchio, you will have advantage because you've actually lived in far, far away. It's like, you know actual, like, mercenaries that can be bought here.
14.
14. Here we go. Poe, what did you get?
17.
Ooh, 17 from Artie. Excellent stuff. Poe?
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Alright. Kai, can you make a history check for mercenaries? Or, again, mercenaries isn't the right word. A history check for countries or places we could hire mercenaries from.
That's a whopping 6.
My guy. Alright. But you did get really good checks. I think Artie and Poe would probably have the best knowledge here, so it's more of the, for you two, mercenaries are basically just hired help. But again, the best mercenaries are the ones that are actual soldiers. Far, far away, while being the biggest kingdom, is not the only kingdom in the European continent. There is a couple ones that would come to mind. The kingdom of Ilvanor lies across the Alps, but Ilvanor is a very hard-cut, no-nonsense, like, we don't go to war ever, so you're not... Like, you might be able to pay for a couple people from there, but getting, like, an army out of Ilvanor is basically an impossibility. There is, however, a rather tumultuous kingdom, and I say kingdom loosely, in the Mediterranean to the south, what we know as like Italy and the Moorlands and Africa and like all those cool places. The nation of Syracuse did just conquer the other 11 kingdoms out of the 12. And while Syracuse, they are saying like, we're now one united kingdom, we're all the same. There's a lot of money to be made of like, hey, yeah, but because there's such a new kingdom, this like new kingdom, you could probably find easily 12,000 men or soldiers and say, hey, you don't yet owe allegiance to this major conglomerate, so let's cut a deal. I guess the thing is, if you want to, it would be using the Toad's resources, because Toad would be the one who could send messages fast and try to set this up. If you want Toad to do it, he's gonna tax you on it. And by tax, I mean, let me pull up what Toad's tax rate is.
He has an official tax rate.
I guess.
Yes.
Isn't a band of mercenaries?
Isn't who?
We trying to reach out to the other parties too. That's a good plan.
Inter-party communications.
Inter-party communications. It's okay. What specifically do you want from the other party? Like just actual mercenaries to help? Like, is it...
I just don't feel comfortable going into a open cold war with less numbers.
Here's what I could do.
Especially when we're the raiding ones.
Which is why I feel
Plus, we're talking about far, far away of all things.
Which is why I feel like we should...
It's not exactly like your Happy Kingdom. It is literally...
Not like there's not like witches flying over our heads every single night, so...
Here's what I could
do. That was already bad enough.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I have an idea. In the open party chat, we just send out a message saying, reply only if you know you're 100% safe and confidential, but we have a request or offer.
Well, here's what I could say. Here, again, to help like that DM butter of like what I know from the parties. If we're talking mercenaries, the big thing, of course, is buying armies. From what you guys know, it's like, okay, probably the like most cost-effective right now is ordering a bunch of mercenaries out of Syracuse, buying a bunch of people there. Without spoiling, there are actually 3 D&D parties in Far, Far Away right now. You guys are in Far, Far Away, as you know. There are the Peacekeepers, which are in Far, Far Away... Well, under Far, Far Away, under London. They're traveling back and forth right now because they're tracking down Shen, or fake Shen, I guess you would call him.
Who's
and
Shen?
Shen. It's a nobleman that they think could really help out. But there is also the Harbingers, who just came to Far, Far Away, who are right now trying to track down a lead on one of the Seraphim Blades. One of the 7, right? Again, Artie's got one, and they think they may have found one in a Dragon's Horde. What I would offer is this. It would be... How do I want to phrase this? You'd basically be offering a one-shot to other parties. Oh, excuse me. And those are the 3. There are 2 other parties that could make it to Far, Far Away to help. There is the party of the Union, who actually are right now pretty extraplanar. They're jumping in and around planes of dimensions that could hop back. Crazy. And I say hop, it's a pun. They found the Easter Bunny and are trying to do stuff there.
I thought hop was Illumination.
No,
Easter Bunny.
Rise the Guardians.
Rise the Guardians.
But there's also the Speedrunners, who just finished up north, who have a ship that could sail through. What I would say is this. At the cost of, instead of having to pay the Toad and a bunch of mercenaries, you're trying to see if you have party members. Again, PCs are big. It's offering this like, hey, we could take down Charming. We could set up an ally, so to speak, on the throne. It's offering them a one-shot. It's very much what the Union did with our Halloween one-shot of, hey, here's a way to get these Enochian amulets, fun little one-shot. But this one-shot would have a lot more real-world effects of, hey, if we're all invested, there's consequence, because if your parties can succeed in bigger objectives, right? Like, well, think about this in terms of a war. Cutting off supply lines, breaching the gates, doing a lot of big baller stuff, taking off. Because again, you know, Charming has so many big lieutenants. He's got the notorious Captain Hook as this Armada admiral. You've got the stepmother, this Queen Grimhilda, who like runs all the low-lying countries all around the European continent as this horrifying viceroy of just evil. Fairy Godmother is insane with her archfey magics, listening in everywhere.
What magic?
Well, with her, I should say, she doesn't have magic, but between the amount of witches and treants that are under her, like, domain, and, of course, we're not even talking about, the, like, thugs that Charming had. Charming did come to power with a lot of villains, right? Like, he found villains. You've got toad soldiers. You've got hired soldiers you could get, but it's if you want to, you would have to probably offer up something bigger to each of the parties. But again, this idea of, hey, if we want to offer you an objective that if you could beat, and we could give you XYZ, gold, items, supplies, whatever, could you help us, with Gabriel's help, again, he could teleport the parties in even if they couldn't, to take an objective in siege warfare. Something that would grant you guys insane boons in this big old fight. Because again, you know, Pinocchio is your ace in the hole of Pinocchio knows an exact way into the castle, but it's, if you're going into the castle, you're immediately just going to be pincer held by every single one of Charming's lieutenants' forces, everything. Versus, if you hire the parties, every other party to do something for you, that could take so many lieutenants off the board, so many armies off the board, to the point where it might just be Charming. Who knows? So, all this being said and done, here's what I'll say as a DM. I don't know what you could offer. Again, one might appeal to their sense of chivalry, one might appeal to their sense of camaraderie, as we are all chosen. One might even just say, like, hey, do you want money? We have money, right? You could hire them. Say, like, we could give you...
How many of them are poor, though?
Out of the 5 parties, 2.
Okay, we could get 2 safely.
The Harbingers have no money. It's been really bad. The Speedrunners are pirates, and so, again, they're mercenaries. They know how to fight for money. The Union is pretty well stocked right now. The Peacekeepers need cash. Okay, so, like, you could just straight up offer money.
Buy them off.
And this is what I'll say is, you guys
What's the qualities of each? What's the qualities of each?
What you know is the Peacekeepers, they're this insane... They're actually the chosen mercenaries and adventuring heroes of Ilvanor. The kingdom that, like, Switzerland, that very, like, neutral kingdom we talked about, they actually are, like, super BFFs with that kingdom. And you could actually, through the Peacekeepers, see if Ilvanor, Queen Rayan, would offer armies to try to help take down Far, Far Away. Be a big ask, but it's possible. The Peacekeepers are that status. The Union is crazy. They have started amassing a sense of literally an adventuring union of we are all Union strong. They created a minor god called the Union out of belief.
Wow.
They straight up said, here is a god that people can become a paladin or cleric or druid or, like, give devotion to gain power because it comes from everyone. Union strong. The Speedrunners are terrifying mercenaries, and you would know with the Speedrunners, there are rumors they have a Hell Rider amongst them, or Hell Rider is what we call it in the common tongue, a Dragon Rider, one that rides dragons.
What?
Well, we know it as Hiccup, right? This idea of a dude that straight up flies on dragons. So, like, dangerous pirates on ships. Again, that is a sea-based, or sea and sky-based party.
They can take out...
the Peacekeepers have a kingdom. They have a monarch of a kingdom as best friends. The Union has an adventuring union. Like, they have contacts. You guys know the Frozen Blood who fought with you?
We get to fight with the
Frozen Blood is Union. Like, the Union and Frozen Blood are BFFs, so it's like, hey, they know the Frozen Blood, all those people. And finally, and the Harbingers, apparently the Harbingers have, like, a prophet, high-powered angels, and gods with them. Like, the Harbingers are, like, they've been doing a lot because they're just big money, like big guys, big boys. So it's each of these parties could provide not only huge asset support, they could take down big lieutenants and checkpoints for Charming's forces. Again, the speedrunners could take out the ships. The peacekeepers could ask Ilvanor and get you guys an army to invade over the Alps, right? Like, that's huge, right? You've got the Union who could rally, in theory, every adventuring party on the face of the globe under this banner of we're all in this together. The Harbingers are just stacked powerhouses that could just probably, drop ship into where you need them. And finally, Union Harbingers, Peacekeepers, and Speedrunners. Yeah, no. So, like, each of them have a lot they could offer. It's just what you would offer them. Again, think of it, it's like if it was you guys, if I as a DM said, hey, another party wants to ask you guys to do a one-shot, it's not like, well, that takes time away from Charming. What are they offering? So it's like, what do you guys want to try to offer? Or what would be the big draw of, like, how are we going to try to, like, rally, if that makes sense?
This is what I think I would be able to offer them. I would put on the table money, power, and or respect.
Wealth.
And they can choose from those. If they want the money, I could pay them.
Okay.
If they want the power, I can let them have any powerful item that we can find in the castle.
That's true.
One or two items to its extent. And if they want the respect, I can give them a position in my court.
I think that
fame, power, the pirate lord Arthur Pendragon.
Hell yeah. Artie, I think that's solid. That's a good idea of, hey, 3 key, like, here's what we can offer you. And we can really go nuts with it, right? We can get this in.
And it doesn't even have to be from party to party. Every member in the party can pick one of those.
I like it.
So, for example, if someone wants money, I'll give them money. But if someone from the same party wants an item, go get an item. I don't care.
And Artie,
it's a
lot simpler than what I was going to suggest.
Because if this succeeds, you'll have all of those to offer. Yeah, like, well, and I shouldn't even say if it succeeds. You guys have cash now too. Like, you could pay up.
And then we also have one last option. We do know a vampire.
You do know a vampire.
That also stands his loyalty to whoever will bring him the better economy for himself, pretty much.
We can just buy out Lord
Gregor.
It's the idea of we get Lord Gregor on our side. He is a lord. Again, a lord of far, far away means he has a standing army. He has money. He has forces. So a vampiric lord. I will actually say I have a list here. I made this like weeks ago of people you could bring to this. You have Lord Gregor and his forces. You have the Thieves Guild. Right now, you have Toad's Fighters, who I might throw those in for free. You guys have a pretty good rep with the fighters in Toad's Court. You have now Toad's Soldiers. The other people you have, it's not a lot, but you do technically have the Furious Five. You could talk to Gabriel. Again, bring in the Furious Five as members. Well, and again, this is Mr. Ping we're talking about. This is a well-beloved member of the Chinese community who people would probably fight for, right? To get him back.
I have a beat for this moment.
I will let you know. Yeah, so you have those. And then, in terms of armies, if you're willing to leave China undefended, there is the Terracotta Army that Shifu is helping use to, like, hole up China right now. But I see, already Poe and Kai both gave that double head shake. Of
No.
So, those are the 5. Lord Gregor, Thieves Guild, Toad's Fighters, the Soldiers, and the Furious 5.
I think we need to reach out to the Furious 5, ask if they can help, as well as going to talk to Lord Gregor, and then reaching out to the parties. Because I'm definitely going to take Toad's offer for the soldiers. Even if they have to retreat in case of any threats.
Okay.
But I still want to talk to Lord Gregor to see what he has to offer. I would enjoy the company of the Furious 5.
Okay.
And then the other parties if possible.
So, we have the parties, which that will be something I can help bring to them again, and that's something where it will be a really cool, like, it's over this next week of, hey, do you want this one shot to help out the party? You know, heroes helping heroes. You'll love to see it. Okay, so here we go. Here's what we'll say. Gabriel can be used to help facilitate this, so can Toad. Again, it's the use of, like, sending spells, messages, letters. What I will say is this. Out of who you want to, you know you have Toad's fighters and soldiers. Who would like to talk to the Furious Five?
I feel like I could persuade them.
Poe's going to try to talk. Who would like to go talk to Lord Gregor?
I would probably go talk to Lord Gregor.
Okay, Artie. Who would like to talk to the Thieves Guild?
That needs to be the rogue.
The only one who could talk to them?
I was going to say Kai is now the rogue. And so that leaves, for Pinocchio, if you want to, you could actually then work with Toad of, like, hiring just the other mercenaries, right? Like, okay, and then who else can we just, like, hire, right?
Here's all our money and we are picking up furniture.
Here, Pinocchio, take our... And Pinocchio's gone. We never see Megan or her characters again. Pinocchio just take... No, I'm kidding.
Sounds about right. Oh, dear. But I think one of my questions,
Yes.
Artie, are you comfortable with visiting Gregor alone?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think
right.
I would
Okay,
actually-
cool. Just wanted to make sure, because I would have been like, I got you, bro.
I was going to say...
He's not a threat as of right now, and even if he is, I'll just step into the astral plane and spend some days there.
All right,
yeah.
sounds good.
Cool. Here's what we're going to do. This is really cool. You have 4 parties you're reaching out to. The Peacekeepers could give you an army. The Speedrunners could give you not only them being a group of pirates, a bunch of Viking ships with dragons, right? That would take care of the sea and the sky. You've got the Harbingers, who just are straight powerful people, right? They just have a lot of, like, tapped-in powers. And you have the Union, who could rally all the adventuring parties of Far, Far Away in this last, like, hey, parties of the free world, Union strong, right? And just go nuts. We're going to roll a d4. I'm going to say Lord Gregor is 1, the Thieves Guild is 2, the Furious Five is 3, and the Mercenaries is 4. Just for, like, who we go to first. Here we go. That is a 2. We're going to cut to the Thieves Guild. Now, of course, I'm going to be, like, super fair because this is, like, a planning kind of thing where we're all jumping around. I'm not going to make you make stealth checks yet or, like, things. Because using the Toad in the Underdark, it's the idea of, Kai, you would have been smuggled here without, like, being spotted.
Time to be fake.
Kai, you do see the poisonous mushroom. This big old bar...
Wasn't it the poison apple or?
Oh, the poison apple. Poison apple.
Yeah,
sorry. The poisoned apple bar.
First.
So Kai, you walk in and you see a bunch of villains, and I'll say, Kai, you fit right in. You are on this path of redemption, but you are a big hulking, like, double golden green jaded blades, right? Like, you look like a villain. So Kai, as you come in, you see a couple people immediately clock you, and you see the recognition of, like, we know who that is. At the bar, you do see an ugly stepsister. What do you want to do, Kai?
I want to walk up to the stepsister, and I'm just be like, you know, some people that could help us, let's just say, take care of a royal flush.
I love it. You look up and you see again, thick braid across the front, unibrow, thick jaw, like this bulking woman. You see she goes, hey, you know that weird bull that was in here earlier? And you see she looks around, and she does a thing, Kai, you notice, it's thieves' can't, but sign language. So she takes a mug, sets it down, and kind of places her finger spider-webbed across it. And, like, 2 dudes at the door nod. They close the door, and a thick iron bar is set. Kai, you are locked in.
Wow.
Bar fight? You see she leans over the counter. And what would an ugly mug like yours know about a royal flush?
Oh, you know, they're very popular, very hated. And I think everyone wants to know, and
Needs to know that they're going soon.
You see she nods. Well, and she kind of picks up a different mug, starts cleaning it a little bit, like wiping away some flecks of food and grime. We've got a lot of friends here. But I mean, it was your friend that made the biggest splash in the pool last you guys met us. From what I understand, Charming isn't going to be too happy about an uprising. What can you put on the
Is
table?
he ever happy?
Ha! 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 And you see she's laughing. This kind of like weird barking. She doesn't smile while she just goes, ha! Ha! Eventually, she's kind of quells herself. You're a funny guy. I like it. But seriously, Charming, what can you offer for maybe some of our services? And I'll say a lot of this has been in Thieves' Cant, Kai. Like, it would be highly treasonous, even in a bad guy bar, to like just speak so brass, so boldly. So yeah, Kai, what would you offer? Or like, how are you gonna try this check to get the Thieves Guild?
I think overall, just like Thieves Cant it up, and of course, I know that I'm in a bar full of people that probably know Thieves Cant as well. So,
Exactly.
because I'm not only going to be talking to her, I'm basically talking to the whole bar. So, basically, what I'm offering is, well, what a certain someone who rightfully deserves. Gosh, I'm thinking, what is the word? Who deserves to be in charge of the game and knows how to pull a few strings. Let's just say respect, money, power.
Knock off a couple hundred on the one.
Whatever you choose.
Huh. Now here's what I'll ask. Kai, I'm going to allow basically any skill you want right now. I would suggest this is probably going to go down easier if you use either persuasion or intimidation. The idea of this is a show of force, right? You're offering this up, but it's that like we're the winning side.
Oh, gosh, okay, this is actually hard for me because I'm trying to be a good guy and my intimidation is at 12, but my persuasion is like at 4.
You can intimidate for good reasons, my guy.
Could intimidate for good reasons. I mean, maybe that's
True.
That's true. Intimidation doesn't always have to be evil, but we'll see.
Case in point, grog.
True. Okay, I will use intimidation.
All right. Go ahead and roll the intimidation. All of these are going to be pretty high DCs. What was it? I just gulped.
Okay, that was a synthetic 20.
The DC is 20. As these are all hard things. Kai, you see Doris, the stepsister, leans in. I only got one request. If you see my bitch of a sister, send her my way. I want to take her down myself. And you see, she got.
It's all yours.
One of the stepsisters did ally with Charming, so it's not like, you see all across the bar, Kai, you like take a step back, and Doris just goes, let's fucking do this. And you see, in a flash, knives are cutting random bar people, so it's like people are being stabbed left and right, and you realize it's anyone that wasn't like in the Thieves Guild just got murdered. I mean, it was only like
oh my gosh.
It was like 9 or 10 people, but it was that like, okay, no witnesses, and you just watch. They all are murdered. Doris just goes,
freaking metal.
all right, we can speak plain. You got this. Tell us the when and where, and let's fuck shit up.
Woo!
All right.
We cut from this scene to Poe reaching out to the Furious 5. Poe, again, between like Gabriel or even like Toad could like basically get you a sending spell scroll.
Yeah.
How are you gonna try to talk to the Furious Five?
This music is not helping me decide. Well, the thing is, the first two on Artie's list, I'm betting $50 none of the Furious Five want. Wealth and power, they're already some of the most powerful masters in China now that some of them are in the spirit realm.
Yeah.
Wealth, who needs money when all of your equipment is just on you? As for respect, I feel like it could work, but only in the sense of like, hey, we could don't know how it'd be best to phrase it. Regardless, I would want to open up by saying, Mr. Ping has been abducted by an unjust king ruling by a crown he doesn't deserve. There's a way we could put in the proper throne. One that is an ally to China and its people. We would just need your help to do it. As for what we would get in return, we would receive that powerful alliance, the power that would come with it, the respect of said nations, as well as some of the Commonwealth to help rebuild China.
You get this like sending letter back again. It's the idea of this is being done like through scrolls and different sending like elementals that flit through planes and move as fast as possible. Poe, you get back from Tigris. Poe, it is good to hear from you after so many months. We are very concerned though by the prospect of leaving China. Shifu is doing his best he can to understand and control the Terracotta Army, but it is not perfect. Should the Furious Five leave the valley, I do not trust this Tai Lung, though you may. And of course, there is the other, there is the rest of China that does need to be of a concern, as if the Vikings do indeed engage from the north once more, we would be at a complete disadvantage.
I just had a 50 million power brain idea. Bring Tai Lung.
Bring Tai Lung?
Mm-hmm.
I would say no one's protecting the tree now in the valley.
Where's Shifu managing the warriors?
Shifu is actually operating out of Gungman City, out of the capital.
Then he's taking care of the oak tree, right?
Well, but Tai Lung is taking care of the peach tree that you also jointly planted. Again, the peach tree wards off the powers, the oak tree wards off the spirit. Does that make sense? So it's the idea of, you could ask for Tai Lung, it means the valley's unprotected as well.
Yeah. Regardless, in my reply back, I do want to say there's a very high chance that the Vikings will join us in this fight.
What check do you want to use?
Sadly, there's no Constitution skill, so I'm gonna have to do something with Dexterity or Wisdom. I'm thinking Perception.
How do you want a perception of this?
I feel like it'd be that sort of like very wuxia movie style. That is there a breath on the wind that. Have you ever heard the phrase "the world takes a breath in before a storm"?
Yes.
Try to
no,
feel
I completely
that and be like, "Is this?"
You're trying to. I like it. Actually, we'll call this. It's almost like a straight wisdom, but I'll allow your proficiency. Yeah. Is you're trying to do that very warrior move of like, this is a right move. We're gonna let you do this in the Box of Doom again. Nathan and Gus can't do it in the Box of Doom just being online, but I'll let you do it. We gotta love the Box of Doom.
+8 to this.
+8 to this.
And I feel like with this wisdom, I'd want to try to feel out and be like, Kai has shown that there's a better path.
Okay.
If I will basically also in the letter say,
my new master has shown a better path while Kai is watching people be murdered in a bar. But it's like, my master shows me more.
Which is why I would say in the letter, invite Tai Lung.
Okay.
It's his decision whether he would like to come or not. Or to basically say, like, I have asked his request to guard the tree. It is his choice whether he would like to honor that previous request or join the fight.
Okay, here we go. +8. That is a 5 + 8 for 13.
13.
You will get this back from the Furious 5. Boom. You are very admirable for trusting in Tylon. Unless the situation seems dire, we shall not leave the valley.
So there are you catastrophe. Got it.
It might be like their card. You might have to use a Gabriel card during a session to summon it. They're not going to show up on their own. But that's okay. Again, you have multiple routes here. So Poe, you send these through, and it's not like, okay, we can't call upon China's aid right now, unfortunately. We cut now to Pinocchio. Oh, I love that we're saving Artie to the end. Pinocchio, you're in like Toad's manor, like in these different rooms, and I think it's not just you. Like, you know, your party members are in and around, but it's kind of the idea of like, hey, can you be bookie right now? Pinocchio, there's a lot of mercenaries you can summon. Again, the Ceresian armies are not perfect right now. There's a lot of dissenters you could hire out from the Mediterranean. You do know the Peacekeepers could talk to Ilvanor, which would be an actual army, and as well as the Speedrunners might bring pirates and Vikings. But again, those aren't like actual standing armies you can count on. That's if the parties choose to join. Again, Artie has sent out this call. I would ask Pinocchio, you're sitting here, again, other bookies are here, and you know I gotta make this check. That's a nat 20. Frankie the Rat is sitting
Yeah!
Right.
Frankie!
Alright, you little wooden boy, we got some people to hire. And you see, he brings out his, like, liquid gel pack and just starts going like a shake-away. What you want to hire? Who you want to hire? Who you want to kill?
Interesting questions.
Yeah. Right?
All,
We got like a fuck ton of people on these
Yeah,
lists.
like-
Because you see, it's like lists of like, because it's not just like an easy grocery list. It's like, here's a minor lord, here's a random house, here's a random country. Like, and it's like random numbers, random names based on scan reports.
a little bit of everyone.
A little bit of everyone. Because here's the thing. Obviously, the party's not going to allow you to blow the entire budget hiring Mark. Take it! Pinocchio! $500,000, everyone go! But it is that level of, like, what I discussed is 120,000 gold is gonna be the safest money to get, like, that's another 12,000 soldiers. But there is something to be said of, there is Toad tax. Again, that 120,000 might become 138,000 because Toad does need some payoff. Like, well, he's got to send out people, he's got to do stuff. So it's like, how much do you want to try to go for? And some of your checks are going to be actually more for money-wise. Like, hey, can we talk down prices? Can we talk down people? Like, some mercenaries might be high-end. Others might say, like, hey, we can offer you food, and they'll do it for free at that point, right? So, what do you think Pinocchio's vibe is while you're, like, running the books and being like, ooh, we got a lot of people.
You give me food, I'll kill a man.
Right? It's a real
I
thing.
wanna go. I kind of wanna go the deception route.
A deception route.
Like saying like, oh
Don't
yeah.
say we're going after Charming.
Gotcha.
No, I mean I could do that for some depending on the people, but like I'm thinking like maybe underselling or maybe overselling the value of what we're giving them. Like going, oh yeah, obviously this will be worth it your while. Nothing else.
Right.
We promise you will.
So a deception check of let's it's shrewd business dealing of like, here's what we can offer you. Of course we can offer these packages. Well, are we really going to be? I'm getting the mental image of Pinocchio in that like poker hat, like the green see-through visor tint going. Go ahead, make me this deception check. We're gonna do this in the box of doom.
Cool. I have plus 13 to deception.
You're gonna need a 7 or higher. 7 or higher for some of the best circumstances.
Okay, cool.
What'd you roll?
A natural 20!
Holy fuck!
That's a nat 20. That's a nat motherfucking 20.
Yo.
I did not expect that! So, 33.
I will let you know. A 33.
Do we
Pinocchio.
bypass the...
Pinocchio.
Oh my gosh.
There will be no Toad tax. You are able to wrap such a convincing lie in these forms that Toad might actually have to pay you guys by
Yeah,
the
I was
time
like,
you finish your hiring. Well, of course, your tax, we're just going to have to make sure that tax goes to here, and then the income tax of these mercenaries go through. And by the end of it, you owe us 400 gold pieces. Right? Like, it's like one of those wild, like, you somehow... So here's what I'll say.
For being your rookie.
Tax is a thing of the past. Right? Yeah, no, I watched it on Nat 20. You'll be able to factor in a cost of you will get paid up front for being the bookie right now. You can't go anywhere over 500 gold pieces, but, like, for sure of, like, oh, and here's my fee. Well, because, again, Toad's a businessman. He may not be signing all of these in person, right? Like, he might have to send people, because he's got an empire to run. Pinocchio. Going through.
Delicious.
You can get anywhere between 12,000 to 20,000 mercenaries. How many do you want to go for?
Because you're saying it might just be wise to only do 12,000, but if we're already getting armies of other places, we might as well go big.
Go big or go
and
broke.
have them be a distraction while we go underneath.
Yeah, because we could sneak up
They
through
could
the
be a
underdark.
distraction on the outside.
It's part of this Nat 20 is these mercenaries will be coming in through the Underdark, popping out of the sewers like roaches. They're not going to be seen. They're going to be a perfect standing army ready.
I'm thinking a good 17,000.
17,000 is a strong number because with 3,000 from the toad,
100 toad fighters.
that brings you up to 20,000. That's only 15,000 less than Charming. And again, his 35,000 aren't all in far, far away. They are.
Know what party
Well, again, when you need to maintain an empire like his on the overworld, he's got to send his armies all over the European continent. 17,000 is a solid number. And on Nat 20, you run the numbers. Artie will only have to pay 170. Actually, no. I'm going to roll a percentile dice to see how much of a percentage you can knock off that final number. Let's do this. Ooh, you love to see it. That's a perfect 10. 10% of that final number, so...
That's alright, that's alright.
That's not bad for... Again, you are taking what would have been...
That's still 10% of the
It's
people
not
for
toad
free.
tax, it's toad
That's
tax.
10% of the people for free. So, Artie, if you want to mark down 153,000 gold pieces will be used to hire an army. But that did not cost you any taxes, did not cost you any more. It's 4,000 or 5,000 more than what you were going to get for a fraction of the cost. And Pinocchio, go ahead and mark down. You put in a lump sum of 500 gold for yourself. Of that smart, like, and I got paid. One of Pinocchio's only goals this campaign. You have cash.
How much am I paying? Sorry.
It's.
I'm not a puppet, I'm a real boy.
I'm a real boy. I can die happy puppet.
You could die happy
I'm
boy.
actually a man.
I'm a
You
man.
could die happy man.
Ugh.
Canadian.
Uh,
I'm for real.
This is insane. Kai has a thieves guild. Pinocchio got the mercenaries, and at what a great cost. Poe, you won't have the Fierce
We got a
Fire.
catastrophe. That's what I'm more happy with.
Catastrophe. We are going to cut to.
Wait, how much was it? Sorry, I forgot to mark it down.
Oh, you're
My
good.
bad.
153,000. It's
Okay,
a pretty
I
heavy...
can give you my 3,000 just so you can do the solid 150.
All right, yeah, Kai. Kai's going to knock out 3,000 gold. So 150,000 gold pieces, which again is insane for that much army. Because again, and when you succeed, that's an investment back. Like that, Charming's got the gold to pay that back. Cool. We cut now to Gregor Manor.
Yeah.
All right, Artie.
Do I gain morals?
Artie, Toad helps set this up, gets you a private carriage there. Again, your face is not seen whatsoever when you're above ground.
I thought he had the mask.
Well, even with the mask, it's that like
You do have a mask.
magical detections of like minor wardings, a reinforced carriage. So it's like even if they didn't know it was Artie, like even a common petty criminal wouldn't attack the carriage. Artie, you pull up to Gregor Manor, and you see it is just at dusk. Like golden hour is finished. The eye is now this gray, purple, inky black. Just that horrifying ombre of darkness is settling in. You walk down. You see a couple of Gregor's servants will note you in the mask, but we're told of your coming. Artie, the metal gates creak open as you enter into Gregor's estate. And before too long, you are standing back in that room where you first met Lord Gregor. Though it's now been many, many months, almost about a year. Artie, as you turn, Gregor is standing in a corner room. He's got a book open. And go ahead and give me an insight check, Artie, as you see the Lord Gregor.
An insight?
An insight.
5.
Lord Gregor he's not like bored, but you see he's doing a lot right now where when you enter, he doesn't look up from this book as he just... Master Pendragon. A pleasure. Please, have a seat.
Thank you.
You sit down.
Is it just him?
It's just him.
Okay.
What may I be of assistance for you? I received some communique from the Toad, but it has been quite some time since you were last in these halls. I just realized I was doing the wrong voice for him. There we go. I was like, he's not the British one. Lord Gregor de Alvarado, it has been some time since you've last been in my halls. I am glad to see you were not killed in your escape from far, far away many months ago.
To which I thank you for the help as well.
I am always...
The reason why I'm here, and I'm going to go straight to it, a couple months ago, I mentioned that it was time for Charming to not be the king anymore since I'm back. And that's going to be relatively soon. My question for you is, with who do you stand and who are you going to side with? If you're going to side with Charming or if you're going to side with me?
You are a very interesting person, Arthur. I do not know yet where my allegiance might lie, as I see at this point, Gregor kind of reaches out. He uncorks a bottle that, on first smell, you're like, is that blood? No, it's just a very pungent wine. As he pours, he kind of regards the liquid. A civil war is a messy thing, my boy.
Indeed.
I do not understand what I might gain out of this. An ally. See? But if I were to lose, I would lose everything. What assurance do I have that your endeavor is right?
It's a leap of faith.
Now, Artie, like with everyone, I would ask you, you can tell me what check you want this to be, and I'll have you roll it. Remember, you do have advantage on certain checks.
Yeah.
Other checks might just be higher number-wise. So what check do you want this to be?
I have a very important question for this.
Yes.
If I were to choose investigation as my check, could I use it in a way that I would literally be investigating his manor and this room while I'm here to figure out what's the thing he wants the most, besides like blood and stuff like that, being a vampire, you know? To just put that on the table as the offer.
I think that's smart. It's the idea of let's figure out what... Again, with the other parties, wealth, fame, or power is a solid trio to like offer. But for Lord Gregor, what's his pressure point? What's he really up for? Go ahead. It'll be your investigation. It's the DC 20 like with everyone. But I believe you have advantage on this check.
I do have advantage. That's why I chose it. And I got I don't know. I had a net 13, but then I also had a 15 that sums up to 22, which our net 13 is a big deal still.
Yes, they are. I like using nat 13s for choices.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick the net 13, which is gonna sum up to a fake, like a synthetic 20, but I want the net 13 just in case.
The synthetic 20 will still beat that DC. It's amazing. Artie, here's the choice I'm gonna offer you. there is information I could grant you that comes from another party on Lord Gregor. But would you rather have that information and whatever consequences it could lead? Or do you want to go based on what you're seeing and what you understand about Gregor in this moment? If that makes sense, you're saying, do I go from what I've been told about him? Or are you saying, what do I want to learn about him personally?
I think I'm gonna go with what the other party knows about him.
Okay. You have made this choice, and so I will let you know. The other parties, specifically, it is the Peacekeepers, figure out some big stuff. Lord Gregor of the Alvarado clan is currently financing the Black Sun cult. But while that is a big problem, you do know that Lord Gregor is not doing this willingly. The Peacekeepers had enough insight. One of them, it's a drow who has lived in the Underdark, is fairly certain that there's someone that Lord Gregor has close to him, that it may not be true like, oh, their life is in danger, but it's somehow Lord Gregor has pressure on him from the Black Sun cult.
So they're pretty much blackmailing Gregor.
Blackmail.
Okay, perfect. Perfect. With that information, I will look at Lord Gregor straight in the eye, and I'll say, if you do me this favor, I'll clean you out of the blackmailing you should be suffering.
You see his golden eyes flash, and there's that streak of almost red lightning behind his eyes. You see for a half a moment, he gets really angry. You see he will speak. Do not dare to speak about my affairs, young Pendragon.
Why not?
See,
why does it bother you so much?
Gregor looks at you. Because my business is my own. You are an impertinent man. And you see, this is the first time he's called you a man. He's not calling you a boy or a kid.
Yeah!
He calls you a man in this moment.
Level
you are
up.
an impertinent man. To ever suggest that I would need your help in affairs that you do not have control over.
How would you know that I have or don't have control over, or will not have control over?
See, Gregor kind of regards you. Are you suggesting that we need to come to some sort of second agreement?
What I'm suggesting is anyone that has stood against me and not by me has died. So you can make your choice.
And this is where I will honor the synthetic 20. You see he goes, you are a man of power, Arthur. I shall respect your power. What would you have me do?
I know you have an army. Is it a regular army, or is it a spawn army?
I see there is no subtlety anymore. You see Gregor full on, he sets down his glass, he leans forward, and you smell the thick wine and grape in his breath. I have 5,000 men and 6,000 spawn under my control. I can have them summoned to my manor in a matter of hours. 11,000 soldiers. Of course, I would keep my top 1,000 for myself. 10,000 for you.
That seems very reasonable, honestly. This is what I'm gonna ask you then, Lord Gregor. Allow those men, and even if you want to be part of the fight, to fight for me during the war. And I will owe you a favor.
His eyes go from straight golden to straight red as he just... A favor of the...
Yeah.
A favor of the man who would be king.
Exactly.
You watch.
And on top of that, I'll even give you some royal blood.
What?
Dog.
You
You're
see...
not royal, though.
Gregor
You're more
Gregor
than
looks at you. You watch
Oh.
Artie, for half a second, your heart will skip a beat. Again, your superhuman now reflexes watch. Gregor pulls a knife from his back, ready, but you realize he has suddenly pointed the point towards his own palm. Are you ready to seal this deal?
How do you seal a deal around here?
He kind of like gently offering, puts your palm on top of his palm, almost as if you were clasping it in like some sort of handshake. As he takes the dagger, Arthur Pendragon, I offer you my 10,000 men in your quest to overthrow the King of Far Far Away. In return, you will grant me one request of my choosing. At what time and what date to be determined. Is this acceptable?
Yeah, it's a deal.
You watch as he slowly brings the dagger down and it cuts through your hand and then his hand all the way out the other side. And you realize it takes a while, Artie, your new, more superhuman skin, still pretty fresh. Like, it takes him a second and you realize that he's using vampiric strength to pierce you.
This is his first time meeting you, Artie.
But it
Yeah.
pierces through both of your hands, and you realize there's no blood. The dagger is soaking it up, like dry ground with water, as fast as it can flow, until the dagger gleams a brilliant scarlet. He whips it out, and kind of in the same motion offers you a quick rag to like bind your hand. Then our deal is struck. 10,000 men. One favor. I am excited.
I will let you know when we're gonna start the war.
Perfect. You see Alvarado looks a lot happier when you enter, or now than when you entered.
Perfect.
Here we go, gang. I will let you know right now. Let's go through who you've got. We have a grand total currently from the mercenaries that Pinocchio hired, plus the 10,000 Lord Gregor is offering, plus the 3,000 that Toad is offering,
The 100 fighters who are here.
plus the 3,000 Thieves Guild that Kai got. There are 3,000 that they can muster. The 100 fighters. You are looking at an army of 33,000. 17,000 mercenaries, 10,000 soldiers, 6,000 thieves and Toad soldiers and fighters, 33,000 to Charmy's 35.
We just gotta send the call out to the other parties.
It's comparable. I will actually say, if you can get the other parties, you will outnumber Charming's men. If the Peacekeepers could get Ylvanor, if the Speedrunners can get Pirates and Vikings, if the Union can sway the adventuring parties, and if the Harbingers just straight drop, you would outnumber Charming's men. And, in complete and total surprise, as thanks to some of the Nat 20s and insane rolls you guys all made, these armies will be coming from the Underdark and from the very walls of Far Far Away itself. And an army that surrounds Charming, though he doesn't even know it. And once again, his 35,000 have no clue. They are all far out and away and will not be here. Here's what I will let you know.
Far away or too far?
Too far away. Thank you. I was not clever to catch me on it, but no, I was not speaking facetiously. They would be too far away because they did not know. Here's what I will say. Starting this is probably going to be our next final 3 sessions before we have our hiatus, is this grand assault. If we're inviting the other parties, I will, as each party either accepts and does their one-shot, give you, like, if there are enemies on the board, they might just be taken off. Like, we might say, like, hey, X party took on Y mission, and now you don't have to deal with Z villain. It's
Okay.
Here's the real thing. We discussed this at one point, but it is that, like, we wanted to send, again, the armies to the gate, full siege, while Pinocchio led your group through Far, Far Away Castle, right? The idea of, like, we're cutting off the head because Pinocchio can get us in through the dungeons, and then the rest of the armies are all stuck.
All of Far, Far Away's armies will be focused on this main...
Well, it's the idea of the rest of Far, Far Away's armies, in theory, are still getting back. Any of the armies are still here at Charmy's Castle, and they've now... I'll actually, let me figure out how many would be there real quick. I can give you numbers. Well, again, Toad's got scouts, Lord Gregor's, 30%. There are 10,000 soldiers stationed at the Grimhold, Charming's Castle. The Grimhold has 10,000 soldiers. You would have 3 times that number, because the other 20,000 are away. They're far off in the countryside. The checks you guys have been doing, I will let you all know. Please, everyone, take a long rest. You all took a long rest with Toad during... Because, again, this downtime, this was that, like, next day where it's like, hey, we're resting, we're going out. This was only 24 hours, because, again, we're moving fast. You don't want...
So, are we level 9? Or not?
Yes, you're at level 9.
Oh, okay, because I never leveled up, but I'll do it right now then. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, let's level you up, my guy.
Oh.
Level you up. Here's what we're looking at. Right now, let me actually make sure I tell you this directly, because we're working real time now. Or, real time. I have, again, been keeping track of, like, the chronological time and calendar of our campaign since session 0. We are in, where is, my notes. Let's see. For the Dragon Warriors, here you all are. Okay. You're at a good spot. Honestly, you're at a good spot. You have just completed what we would call, the first month of the year. Once you got back, it's actually the 26th day of the first month. Again, we are actually, 26th day of the first month, it has been exactly a year since the moon turned red, since Gabriel visited you all in dreams. How long... Well, I have to make some checks to see how long it'll take your armies to get here, because you are hiring armies. We're going to make a quick check. Cool. It's only going to take you 6 days to gather everyone, meaning, +4, it is the second day of the second month that the siege could begin if you want it to. Because I'll ask the party, do you want any other, like, time to say, like, we want to try to get other groups? Because, again, the other groups, I'm going to say, don't worry about it. If they do the one-shots, if this call goes out, I will just offer these as big boons or drops in session. Like, that will all happen just to give you guys. But it's, do you guys want to say we need to take any more downtime to talk to anyone, rally anyone, prepare anything, that level of stuff? Yeah, but yeah.
There's not really any, like, other soldiers that we know of, because, like, we could do the, let the people fight against them, but these are people, not soldiers. So yeah.
The last
If
untapped
the people
group.
want to join, it's their call.
It's
true.
That's a great way to put it, Poe. Of like, the people could be persuaded, but also that's when it gets really risky. Of like, the second you start telling a bunch of common people, "Ooh, remember, save the date. We're gonna take down the king on Thursday." Like, yeah, that might not be a great thing.
Leading up to the date, however, I want to see if I can't work on my chi skills, like whooshy finger hold, and see if I can't.
I'll let you know. Again, you have the whooshy finger hold, that once a day form of banishment. I will let you know though. Most everything else you're dealing with, you won't have enough time. You would have to take some severe. Again, the higher up levels.
We have like a week, which is why I was wondering.
Well, the higher levels of D&D you get to, the longer it takes to hone new skills. Because the idea being like you're just getting buff. So for Poe, it's like that kind of downtime. We're talking a good month and a half now, and that would be like, whoa, we can't afford to sit on this for a month and a half. But a good thing to ask of like, would that be possible to refine anything? Because you guys spent the money, you all have the items, you all have the stuff. Here's where we will say it is the morning of the assault. You would have prepped Lord Gregor. Oh, and here's... no, this is important. You guys can decide what time is the siege going to occur. You know half of Lord Gregor's men are spawn, meaning they would be at disadvantage if we're talking daytime.
Yeah, no, we're definitely going to do it at night.
Ooh,
It does mean Charming might have some other buffs at night too. Again, he runs with witches and fae and treants, so like he might have some buffs to himself as well.
That's to be expected.
It's
willing to take the risk though.
It's like you're not losing 5,000 dudes.
Hear me out.
Yes,
we don't start in the middle. We don't start at dusk. We start closer to midnight, 1 a.m. So that way, yes, we get prime night time as we're storming in, but by the time we potentially reach, it could have turned dawn because we have some magic items that recharge on dawn.
Because Excalibur does recharge at dawn.
We could potentially get 2 uses.
So starting the combat.
We need to sleep during the day so that we aren't exhausted.
The idea of, hey, we've got, remember guys, 3 a.m. flight, so go to bed like around like 4 in the afternoon.
We don't have any jet lag, guys. Come on.
Let's split an Uber to the heist or to the siege. And shout out D20 this bit. No, it's a smart plan though. I think Poe. If it's not straight dusk, but if you start the battle closer to post night, basically on the second day itself, or again from when the first becomes the second, so that way Artie has a chance of Excalibur recharging some of the great abilities that happen at dawn. Mm-hmm. It's a clever plan. Cool. You've got a lot of armies. You've got a lot of people. You've got a lot of gumption. This would be the day. And again, whatever other parties, it makes sense of like, if you would have sent out the call, they wouldn't be doing their stuff till today either, right? So like they're getting ready to do their one-shots.
Oh yeah, which reminded me. I typed that up for them. I mean, to throw in the chat. I'm just going to send it to you so you can take a proofread it before I send it.
Thank you so much.
Just to make sure it's fine.
That would be perfect. Thank you so much.
Of course.
It's like, hey guys, who wants to perform a little bit of...
Who wants to do some shenanigans?
No, there was an actual term. Side. It was...
Here we go.
Not genocide.
Not genocide.
It's one of the sides.
What's the word?
It's one of the sides, not homicide.
Regicide.
Regicide.
Regicide is specifically the word to kill a king.
That's
or a queen or a monarch.
Hey fellas,
let's go kill a kid.
Regicide.
The last thing I would ask, just because of we're talking like who goes best where, is Pinocchio. Obviously, you have to lead through the castle. Artie is probably going to be in the castle because again, we need Artie to be the one to fight Charming. Be that like, hey, joke's on you, sucker. I'm a superhuman and can kick your ass now.
Yeah.
Yep.
But also, we're talking of like Poe, depending on where you want to go, is for Kai, there is something to be said of a well-known general to lead the armies. If you're leading the armies, you're big. Again, Kai's got like spirit guardians, that insane tornado of blades. Like, let alone your fighting prowess is great in groups. Kai has experience leading armies, and that could offer, again,
General
it's
Kai.
you would have a PC leading the armies and would know what's going on.
I love this.
And at any time, you could ask Kai to come join the inner fight if that's going on, but it's at the cost of like not knowing what's going on. If that makes sense, right? So it's a choice. But Kai, would you want to be with this strike team, these 4 going in, or would you rather be like leading the siege?
Hey, I do have a question first. I have a new feat called Commanding Rage.
Oh.
Does that affect whole armies if I were to do this?
Oh.
Basically, I'm giving them advantage. When you're raging with an ally within 10 feet of you makes an attack roll against an enemy, you can use reaction to grant advantage to that attack and add rage damage to the rage damage bonus to the damage roll if the attack hits.
Ooh. Oh, right, because this is your next rogue. Yeah. Oh
Yep.
my gosh. Commanding Rage. Let me double check that. Because that might work. You become more aware of your allies and their intent fighting at your side. Reaction to grant advantage. And add your rage. Here's what I'll say, Kai. It could work in an army.
Mm-hmm.
But it would mean at the cost of you would basically never have your reactions because you're giving an overall boost to the army itself, right? And it won't be the exact one-to-one. Like, the army isn't going to always roll with advantage. But it's the idea of you're saying, like, hey, I don't have my reaction anymore, but we've got some insane buffs for attacking and damaging for a army unit.
Yeah. I mean, I technically have my freaking own personal army on me, so
well, exactly, right? So,
I think I'll be good reaction-wise because of the Spirit Guardians and all that.
yeah,
But I was just wondering, like, if that'd be helpful. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Me, personally, I'm kind of an idiot when it comes to strategy, but I feel like I would, like, it'd be nice to lead an army again,
it would be really cool. Here's what I'll say, Kai. I think I'll allow it to work for the army. I think that's
all right.
that feat is exactly what it's going to apply to. So, yeah. But again, that feat would also be super cool if you're fighting with everyone inside. So,
But
True,
reaction,
true.
For one, I feel like it'd be helpful in the armies.
with the army, you are putting a general in the armies. Because again, right now, you're dealing with an army of thieves, mercenaries, toads, rats. Like, this is not...
Rats, bats, and mercenaries.
I should say, you are now comparable in size to Charmy's army. This isn't an army that's trained for years together, though. So having a general at the head would immediately turn that tide. Do you want to risk it?
I'll risk it. I'll be a general.
Kai, the general, steps forward. I'll say, Kai, you're in full-plated armor again. Yeah, Poe is fangirling in the corner. Kai, you've got the full, it's like a samurai low-cut brim helmet. You've got the full plate, blades at your side. You've got a map of the castle provided by Pinocchio in terms of the outer walls. You've got everything. You're ready to lead an army.
2, maybe 3 questions.
Yeah.
Have we checked out that this is a bag of holding and not a bag of devouring?
This is a bag of holding.
Thank you.
Yeah. It is clever.
True.
It really was. I did make a roll.
You made me fear for a minute.
Well, I fear him, so...
I know. It's
With
the
the
demon
thoughts.
went like, what do I care more about? Just grabbing this bag or what I want out of it? And they went, I'll just grab my stuff,
Yeah.
right? Like, they didn't...
Okay.
Well, because again, when demons transport, they become ethereal, so like that, not a lot comes with them. So it's that like, I would rather have whatever's in there they could transport.
Okay. My second question that I would also make known for the party, my goal right now is freeing my dad. I feel like we're going to run into the dungeons on our way up. Pinocchio and Artie, you two take the forefront while I break open the cells and maybe just do a castle-wide jailbreak? Because I feel like that could help us.
Like the idea of if you're already again,
if we're already
That
semi-splitting,
might hurt your dad though.
It
You
could-
don't know who's been in there.
I
because,
free him first.
yes,
make sure he
Charming
gets
is a
the
bad
safety
guy,
and
but
everyone
the
else.
prisons of the Grimhold will contain more than just political enemies. They could
Exactly,
contain
which
real
is
bad.
why Mr. Pink's my first priority. Once I know he's safe, open the floodgates.
Sounds bad. If you want to send your dad to the spirit realm forever, you could keep him safe forever.
No!
Which
I'm
you can go,
killing my father!
bye, Dad! He's safe.
He's
Can I
safe.
send him back?
No, that would not work.
Well, I never tried.
It was a bit. I should have clarified. There was no way I would let you do that. Well, I should say I'm clarifying that now, so for future fight, you can't be like, "Ooh, I'll send my ally somewhere safer in a minute." They're not coming back. This is banishment is the spell that we start with, and it says you banish them forever.
Yeah, my first thought was, as we
Okay.
see Kung Fu Panda 3, just, can I go back?
Because here's what we're looking at. Again, to remind you all a bit of the layout, we're looking at a square layout. Again, 60-foot moat, drawbridge, 40 feet outer walls, 12 guard towers. The innermost castle has some high towers, 2 of which are the ones for Charming Godmother. Underneath there are 3 levels of the dungeons. The lowest level is the Grim Hold, what this castle is named after. The biggest items, what Artie is kind of offering up to party members for that, hey, help me, and I'll let you know, there's very little magical items I haven't put in that hold, right? It is the shit. The second lowest level is for VIP prisoners and torture, which is not only where Mr. Pink could probably be, it is where Pinocchio will be popping you out. Because the tunnelless floor is nearest to the latrines. Again, it's disgusting. I can't phrase it enough. It's the bathrooms in here. But then the third lowest, or the top, is the general storage prisoners, right? That's what we would know as just straight up guard. That's where the guard barracks are going to be. That's where prisoners are going to be. It might be some storerooms. And again, in the entry levels, you've got the courtyard with entry halls, dining halls, guard barracks in their towers. The second level has the war rooms where the lieutenants live, the kitchens, the guest rooms. And finally, the third level has the rooms for the generals, the playroom recreation, and a secret room that, again, even Pinocchio didn't know what was in. There was that third tower there, even you didn't know what was in there.
Imagine.
Who knows? Here we go,
I
gang.
do have one question.
Yes.
You mentioned the idea of potentially keeping Mr. Pink safe. Could he breathe in the astral plane?
Technically, anyone can breathe in the astral plane, so Artie could ping into the astral plane to help.
Well, technically, I don't know if I could, because it only lets me bring objects. That's why I could only bring Hordek once Hordek was dead, because then his body was no longer a living thing, he's just an object.
Worn or carried?
Nope. It is only
Dang
objects.
it, because he's small enough.
Because I remember this isn't the spell, it's the coat that's doing this. So
Yeah,
it
it's the
has to-
code. It's the code.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I did for a half a moment, thank you, Gus, you reminded me, because I'm like, yeah, how did Hordak get there? Right, because you're an object when you're dead. Yeah, I know. Wow! Cool.
I've always wanted to try.
And thank you, Gus.
Technically speaking, I could probably take Pinocchio there, though.
Wait.
Pinocchio, I'm going to say Pinocchio's too sentient.
Every time we joke about me being an object.
Pinocchio, you're just an object. Here we go, gang. This is an insane fight as midnight rolls around. The Thieves Guild reaches out. They are ready. Gregor's armies reach out. They are ready. All of your mercenaries are here. They've been hired. You've got them for a week and a half. And again, at the end of the night, you won't need them that long. You'll pay them and send them on their way. They are set in the Underdark, ready to appear. I will let you know, Kai. Charming is smart. He thinks there is no immediate passages through the Underdark or sewers straight to his castle. There is one that only Pinocchio can go through. Because again, you really can't lead an army through there. Even with Poe, Poe's already going to really stretch the limit of can he get through. So Kai, you're going to pop out, I will let you know, 3 blocks away from the Grimhold. So Kai, you are ready to lead the charge, wherein the other parties, again, you might get armies at advantage. Again, in theory, throughout this battle, Ilvanor might come charging over the Alps to help you. The Union, the adventuring parties, might swell up from the midst of the city to fight. The Harbingers might straight drop in, kill a big bad, and drop out, right? Like, who knows? And, of course, the speedrunners might bring both aerial and sea support to take out a lot of Charming's big bads.
And you all called me crazy for saying we just fly something straight into his tower.
Hey, yeah, but there's a difference between a fighter plane and a dragon.
Fair.
Sir, a second dragon is hit far, far away.
Has a 50 cal and one has fire.
A second one.
A second dragon's hit this fire.
You know, some people say that King Charming was actually reading a book to a school of small half-elves.
No, he was reading a children's book by himself.
A children's book by himself. Sir, a second dragon. Yes, the book's upside down. Well, let's just move on from that horrible joke.
We're gonna cut that part away if everyone posts the video.
Now that we move past the war crimes, hey, it's not terrorism when your morals are correct, kid.
No, it's only a war crime the second time. The first time was just an accident.
Well, gang.
Yes, Dungeon Master.
I'm going to say, as we begin, let's roll initiative.
Oh snap!
Good.
Alright, Poe dice.
All right.
Oh, bad.
In good fashion.
Did anyone get a 20 or higher? You love to see it.
Dang. I hope they didn't either.
All right. Hey, yeah, I do have to make a lot of rolls for them. Did anyone get 15 or higher?
I got a 15.
Poe got a 15.
Is that the highest?
10s or higher?
I got a 13.
11.
Ooh, shared initiative.
Shared
So you
initiative.
can
Well,
swap.
shared initiative, but we will. Unfortunately, you can't subgroup it because Kai is leading armies right now.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
not like we can do anything cool.
Yeah, if
together.
Kai and Pinocchio were in the same room, it could be that like, oh yeah, we can do team ups. Because Kai's in the army, it will be its own. I actually say you have the same deck, so can you do just quick roll off?
Rollies!
Just to see who's gonna go first.
I got a 9 for rollies.
A 9. Let's see what Kai gets. It's a
Mine
9.
is 12.
All right, rollies again.
Rollies again! 16.
14.
14, 16. Okay, so Pinocchio will go before Kai and the armies do.
Woo!
All right.
Yeah.
Here we go, gang. I have to make truly a gross amount of rolls.
Yeah,
Um,
Force and Conquer.
So go ahead
I'll see you
and
in
talk
like
amongst you.
5 minutes.
See you in 5 minutes when I finish. Okay.
Is this where we're taking our break?
Actually, let's go ahead and take our 5.
like-
Thank you all so very much. We'll see you in just a few minutes. And we are back.
Thank you, back.
Thank you, back.
Oh.
As you all move forward, we see in the dead of night, all throughout the city, the march of soldiers out of the sewers. Boom, boom, clap. Boom, boom. As you all march for Kai, torches, boom, 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 green, blue, red, all these variety of colors erupt as charging forward, you and the rest of the armies erupt onto the streets and charge forward in the dark. There are, I will let you know, 4 different creatures that act before you guys. I will let you know, none of them have come important yet. One of them is a nat 20. Which I'm flattered is something did happen before the battle, or a little bit before the battle.
One of the parties went, nah, we're gonna do it now.
Oh no, these are the enemies, I'm saying. Again, the parties will drop in as they do their stuff. We cut Poe, Artie, and Pinocchio. Even in the sewers, you feel the rumble of armies above you. As foul stench, muck and grime that has never been cleaned out in hundreds of years. You
Okay, I get it. You're from China, but we're not doing
That's
the
the
communism.
Soviet national anthem.
you march forward.
Difference.
Well, it's still communism.
Poe,
Communism is communism.
you all watch Pinocchio. You find the secret door. You hit the latch as the latrine kind of opens up this little side wall, caked in so much filth that someone would have to be willingly sitting in a latrine for a good couple minutes and investigating to find this kind of door. It's not something people just know about.
Artie can clean this up.
Yeah, first rule, Artie, as a king, you gotta clean this.
No, he's got
Yeah, we're who?
presentation. He can clean
Right.
this
Get a
up.
whole new castle.
And me start casting like, let's clean ourselves. You are in the second level of the dungeons. Poe the Panda, it is your turn to begin.
Free perception check. Where is my dad?
Investigation action is what I'll have to call it. It's gotta be an investigation action to find your father.
You know what?
This is not like just a one block of cells. This is a level full of
You know what?
rooms.
I'm willing to do it. I got a +8. 22.
Does your dad carry any magic items? Probably not, right?
No, he does not. He is just a goose.
Yeah.
Yeah, my goose dad. Yeah, I really do need to ask him about that.
Poe,
And you asked me why I'm a puppet. Like,
you asked me why I'm a puppet. Poe, you go through, and it's at me like peeking out of the latrines. You spot far ends of some rolls. There are guards marching. You think, again, this is low enough, they may not have heard yet about the armies approaching. They're just marching. I'll actually say, on your investigation, go ahead and give me an insight check as you watch the guards walking by.
+4, that's a 13.
Thankfully, it seems like normal rotation. Doesn't
Okay.
look like any big stuff is happening down here yet. Poe, you look, again, there are very specific cells down here. This is VIP prisoners. VIPP?
VIP prisoners. VIPP.
VIPP. Poe, down the hall, you see a cell, and you realize that's where your father was. It does have a sign on it.
Oh, no.
Taken to the interrogation room.
Hey, Pinocchio? Where's the interrogation room?
It's
Thank you.
down the hall. It's the torture room. It's the room full of torture and supplies.
I've been there a few times.
Yeah, you have. Well, because this room, it's a big room. It is a.
No, what's that? The torture
Imagine
room
if
or
a
the torture?
school gymnasium
You'll
was turned
never
into a
know.
torture room, like school gymnasium sized torture level room.
Yikes.
Poe, that is your action and movement. Yeah, getting to the room, checking the sign, realizing, okay, Pinocchio, where's my father?
Is there any way I could... I don't know if I want to spend a key point right now to dash. You know what? I'm just gonna like go to the party and be like, hey guys, he's in the torture rooms. Let's break him out.
Poe saying, we got him in the torture room. Something happens.
I love when that happens.
Artie,
Me when happens.
that is your turn.
This is what I'm going to do, or this is the idea of what I think would be best. I'm going to hold action
Okay.
to attack anything that comes close to me or Pinocchio, and I'm just going to follow Pinocchio.
Smart. It's not like...
Because we can just...
Again, right now it's odd. You're in initiative, and other creatures may not know you're in initiative. That makes sense. So you're just like moving through. Artie, you've got Excalibur back. Like, okay, if anything closes, we cut. Artie, after your turn, that is Pinocchio. So here's what I'll say: Pinocchio, on your turn, do you want to finish moving everyone towards the torture room? Because it's the idea. Poe was going and Artie held in action, so it's like, okay, on your turn, finishing up this little grouping of, you could probably get everyone there if you were taking like a dash action. The idea of like, let's unit move in.
You know what? Sure.
Yeah.
Well. Pinocchio.
Let's keep the group together.
You move through, around different alleys and corners. Eventually, you do all see the wide double set of iron doors with scrawled in common across in a very dried, rusted, probably blood at some point, interrogation room.
So who wants to do the Aragorn thing?
I don't get that reference.
So Pinocchio, boo! Yeah,
Full Aragorn.
I don't get that reference.
does the reference. Pinocchio, using some of your move, you push open the doors. As hard metal creaks on its hinges,
Darling,
all of
guess
you
who's back from
slip in.
Father, guess who's back from jail?
You do see in this room, again, gymnasium size. You don't spot Mr. Ping immediately. That might have to be another check. But you are seeing, like, there are other prisoners in here. There are people on racks. There are people in cages. There is what looks to be someone in a vat of active oil. But you see that above them is a hooded figure that is healing them. So for every 6 seconds that their skin is boiled away, a cleric or someone to that effect is healing them to not
That's
let them
crazy.
die. Crazy, right? It's
Oh my god.
this is the interrogation torture room that Pinocchio, I will say, yeah, you're having a lot of horrifying flashbacks.
Man,
Ooh.
I'm leaving. Goodbye, guys.
As you all enter in, the door behind you, boom, closes with a heavy thud. And you hear it arcanely lock. Fires
Oh, we can
in
see
braziers all around the room start erupting in flame.
Oh, we can see. That's helpful.
This is what I'm supposed to do.
In this room, I'm about to reveal how many creatures are in this room. Ready for this? You see in one corner is a pirate surrounded by a massive crew, and on his left hand is a hook. In the third, that is in the first corner. In the second corner, you see a truly ugly stepsister, blonde hair, big old mole, surrounded by a horrifyingly amount of thugs. Right? These aren't Thieves Guild, these are just straight up thugs, like no honor kind of thugs. In the third corner, you see a woman, high-browed cape. She's honestly like she's not unattractive, but she has a permanent scowl gracing her brow. And you know that this must be the evil queen. Or the stepmother, one might call her. 1 second, I just realized she didn't add to the initiative. Uh-oh, we gotta add her in there.
No.
Gotta put in the stepmother. Oh yeah, the stepmother went pretty soon. As the stepmother, the evil queen, and you see surrounding her are a ton of treants. There's about-
my fellow brother.
Hey, I'm
Is
sorry.
that you, Mom, Dad?
Mom, Dad? In the fourth corner, you see the fairy godmother with about 3 witches, these hags, on brooms
Me and my
next to
witches.
her.
Free flat mouse.
And finally,
See how they run.
in the middle of the room, standing on a dais, having... Fun fact, Artie, I'll let you know. Having rolled the exact initiative 13 as Artie,
Oh,
but
Dang.
failing the roll-off on a nat 1,
Yes!
as Artie rolled better, King Charming stands in the middle of the room. Pinocchio,
No.
you have a held action right now.
I do.
What do you want to do?
I would like
What?
to pull out the Pied Piper's pipe. And play just a little melody. To dominate person.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bob! Oh! Wait.
I need everyone in the party to
Yo.
make wisdom saving throws.
Oh, you bitch!
I need Poe and Artie to make a wisdom saving throw.
How upcast is this?
Oh,
I
oh
will
my
say,
god.
because in a
You
split second,
little...
Artie, you turn and you have that horrible moment of the last time you saw that Piper's flute, you were slaying the person who held it, and Pinocchio has just withdrawn it. As fun fact, Pinocchio has had this whole time.
Mhm.
Ah.
Hi guys, I've been planning this
Malfoy, you little...
Malfoy,
You're
you
gonna
little
succeed.
autistic! Here we go. Artie, wisdom save, and Poe, wisdom save.
Okay.
And let me, Pinocchio, what's the spell save DC? We got
It is wisdom 17.
Oh.
it is a DC 17.
Oh! Nat 13, total of 18.
Nat 13, 12, 18. Poe succeeds. Artie.
I have an at 13 total of 16,
Oh.
but it is past dawn, so I can still look
No,
it.
no, it's not
Well,
passed
it's
on.
been
You
a new
have the
day.
Old one.
It has been a new day.
So I'm
You've had-
gonna look at just for the giggles.
We have two
it's
days.
been
Nah.
6 days of
A
this.
14 on the luck, so I fail either way.
Oh.
You hold person. Now, we're gonna.
Well,
This is a
person.
dominate person.
And my domination spell is relax.
It's relax, Artie. You, just like with envy, you feel the magic in your brain charming you. You are linked. You can specify simple commands. You see,
Deception.
Charming looks out. Perfect. Well done, little boy. Thank you for bringing the usurper and his big fat friend with you. As Charming gives a soft little clap, and you watch all of the villains in this room.
Can I roll
Clapping.
deception? Dang it.
As
Piss.
this was part of a long con. You
No,
see-
to pretend that I failed.
Oh, to pretend you failed?
Yeah.
Would that be against my? Well,
Your insights?
Actually, no. Because the spell lets you know when they
Ah,
failed. It's
yes.
most charm stuff is yeah.
Dang.
it's
Thought
Mm.
it was a good idea. That I was like,
He failed. Failure.
I mean, wait. Are the spindles a bonus action? Let me see.
I know
Wait,
the matches
hold on,
are bonus
listen,
action.
Listen,
I don't.
you don't want to hurt me in any way. Trust me.
No, it's an action. Never mind.
The last guy who did that, you know what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Do I?
Charming looks at you. Come here, Pinocchio. Take your place, my little jester.
I begrudgingly step over.
Pinocchio, you walk up to the dais and see Charming kind of like bends down. Good boy. And kind of pats you on the head. Smiles.
Weird undertones in that.
There are some weird undertones.
Some weird undertones.
Okay.
I
Hey, love is
said
love, man.
Pinocchio
Love is
was
love.
an entertainer dog.
Oh,
Artie,
bro.
Poe,
Ew.
Charming looks at you. Now, I finally have the pleasure of talking with you. You see Artie, Charming kind of looks down at you, and he's got this cold look in his eye. I was so worried the first time I heard that a challenger to my throne appeared. You see, Mummy and I have done such a good job making sure that no one is available to take my throne by any legal right, but imagine my surprise when a small, insignificant high school dropout thought he could take my crown.
Wait, you dropped out?
No, I did graduate.
Alright, no, I did graduate, but you see, Charming just kind of laughs. Oh my. You know, it almost feels bad. How many armies did you say, Pinocchio, they amassed?
A lot.
Yes, I believe the number we discussed was 33,000. Now that is impressive. And this is where we cut above ground. Kai, you are charging forward. As you go in, on their Nat 20 initiative, the soldiers of Far, Far Away take their attacks. As Kai, you watch torches and armies rally. Kai, it's an ambush. You've got 35,000 soldiers surrounding your charging group. They are catching you right as you're coming out of the sewers. You are seeing men falling. You're not going to take damage yet, Kai, but you see arrows are being flung in. Oil is being flung over. Witches are appearing overhead. Treants emerging out of the wood of houses as your army is taken by surprise. And you see Charming as we cut back down. Yes, a pity, but thank you. It helps get rid of a lot of the riffraff in my city. No, it prunes the absolute filth from my kingdom. And you see Artie, Charming pulls out a sword that you clock not with your eyes, but with the eyes of a man you lived a life through. Charming's holding Clarent, the sword of Mordred, the sword of the traitorous knight. You know, Clarent, in the fringe reality you were in, that was a insane blade.
Mm-hmm.
And in Charming's hands, it could be deadly. Charming looks over his assembled minions. My friends, watch as I prune the last of my dirty bloodline. And you see he looks at Artie in disgust. And I claim what is rightfully mine. And all throughout this hall, long live the king! Long live the king! Long live the king! Pinocchio, that was your action.
Yep.
And your movement.
Yep.
Is there anything you want to do at the end of your turn?
Yeah, bonus action, Form of Dread.
Your strings pull out, and for the first time, Artie and Poe, Pinocchio's strings do not go into the Ethereum. You watch as they seem to catch on hooks on the ceiling, barbed wire, and they string and fall lightly into a marionette in the fairy godmother's hand as she holds Pinocchio's strings.
You know she has no power, right?
She may have no power, but she owns Pinocchio, apparently, or has that power. So, as she starts plucking it with her hands, Pinocchio, you may not have a lot of autonomy. The thugs go, the last thing we need to resolve.
Good.
Good. You feel bad? Oh, good.
Oh, you rolled low for your Form of Dread HP? Good.
We cut up top. Kai, you are surrounded on all sides. It is bad. You've never gotten an ambush this bad in Millennium. You're like immediately going into that like battle like, oh no, like men are falling at either side. They are in the air, on the trees, underground. Like you are truly surrounded. And the reports you're getting, they're cutting off the underground. the witches are using magic and sealing tunnels behind you. What do you want to do, Kai?
Okay. Alright, so basically we have no way of falling back. Well, until the end.
Alright.
Let's go, boys! And I would like to rage.
Kai, if this is to end, let us burn bright. You, boom, erupt. Golden monks spring out from all around you. Some immediately are boom, 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 catching missiles being deflected. I will say, I'm allowing this to happen, but Kai, I do need on your turn a dexterity saving throw. But
Okay.
you will have advantage thanks to that barbarian danger sense, because you will see it is volleys of arrow are going to be hitting you and your troops every round. Well, until something happens to the archers.
21.
21. You will take, this is
Oh,
gonna...
high for both of them.
You take, oh my gosh. So that was 4d6, and so you'll take half this damage. So 5 points of damage, half to 2.
Alright.
So Kai, you take 2 points of damage. It's not like, and like 2 arrows kind of graze your armor, not enough to stick you.
Alright.
You rage. For an action, do you want to try to start attacking people, or? And I will say, next time we will have the full battle map, because this time I couldn't make the battle map, or else it would spoil a lot of this ambush.
I'm willing to bet $50 that they're boiling a duck.
Boiling a duck? Who knows?
Oil.
There's a lot of prisoners. But Kai, it's right now. Would you rather spend an action to try to start clearing through a lot of the armies, or do you want to give an action to try to like rally or shore up your army?
Basically, through rallying, I want to be like, make them pay 1,000 times over for each one lost.
Go ahead, Kai. We're gonna call this. I actually will say, like before, you can do this with intimidation. I think you're realizing it's like being commanding, being presenting. Your rage is not bad. It's power. It is strength, and you need to use this to save people right now. So go ahead and make that intimidation check.
21.
Hell yeah. Boom! Kai, you see everyone rally to the general! And all these, like, thieves and mercenaries are, boom, throwing up shields, grabbing, starting to close in. Okay, Kai, you are raging. You've got your reaction. Or, excuse me, your reaction commanding rage is now going to start spreading through the army to help get that going. We're going to go through the pirate crew. The treants hold their turns. You see they're watching what Charming's going to... It's kind of that like, all right, Charming's going to go kill Arthur. Let's get ready for this.
So, we're still standing near the door?
You guys are about 15 feet in this room, and the door is closed behind you.
Okay.
Because, yes,
Curious.
the soldiers, Captain Hook, Evil Queen, Ugly Stepsister, and Fairy Godmother, my 4 lieutenants all act in the same grouping. It's really gross. They're all holding actions, waiting to see what
I have a
happens.
sense of fear, and then I remembered that I'm on their side, so like we're fine.
How dare you?
Poe, that is your turn.
I doubt my deception would work now.
It probably not. Pinocchio may have already blown that level. But it's your turn, and I will let you know, Artie does act before Charming.
Which is why...
But Army has the dominate person. So as of right now, Artie's got strings coming out of him going into Pinocchio.
What I would like to say, just my... Last time it was a reaction attack. This time, with the Cloud Hammer to ensure that I can knock him just right, stamina point knock sense into him.
I will give you this as a DM. That is really smart, because again, it will force him to remake the save. Would you like a safer option?
Yes, absolutely. What is
Would you, instead of having Gus take a bunch of damage, I mean, well, and I should say, you're not wrong, because, like, last time, especially, last time this happened, it was that, like...
my monk ability to end charmed conditions on myself for free, I can just spend a resource to...
You don't think you can give it to him.
Okay.
But you know, every session you guys can summon Gabriel to do something huge. You might be able to, it would cost the action, but get Gabriel to, like, uncharm Artie. And then, I will say, it's 2 against 4 lieutenants charming in each of their minions. But again, you gotta hope by next session other parties have taken up the cause and mantle and these lieutenants will be disappearing.
I know what I'm gonna do for my Gabriel card. Taking off the Enochian amulet. Cut every string in the room. The ones controlling Artie, the ones connecting Pinocchio to Fairy Godmother,
Oh, holy
and
shit.
the ones, yeah.
Oh.
Cut the strings in this room.
Oh my
Revise
gosh.
the request to
Cut all the strings. Cut Artie strings, cut Pinocchio strings, cut the prisoner string, cut... Holy shit.
cut the threads. Snip, snip. Ah, dang it, I'm quoting them.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, what does that do for me, dog?
No, that's saying it's the idea of
I know, it's like...
you're not...
what?
Pinocchio's no longer bound.
Cut the strings.
I
There are no strings on me.
need... Does someone want to give me a percentile die? Because this is in the
Want
box
my
again
panda
for sure.
percentile?
I have percentiles.
Here we go.
What
Do you want
percent?
me-
Hold on, wait.
Okay, which one do you want?
Well, I feel like it should be 1 from each.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
this might
So-
be... This will happen, and Artie might get 1 turn before the end of the session. Here we go. Percentile die. I'm going to tell you right now, with my table, what Gabriel can do. This is what we're bordering on a giant request.
Yeah.
It is not the highest tier, but it's definitely not the lowest. You're asking a big favor of free Pinocchio, free Artie. To get one of the requests that you're asking, we need a 65% or higher. To get both of the requests you're asking, we need an 85% or higher.
1, 2.
And to get an insane thing, you need the 100. Right? You need every threat, like something big. We need 100% being asked of. Here we go. In the Box of Doom, a 65%, you can choose 1 person to free. On an 85, both of your friends will be free of their strings. And screw it, yeah, that 100 fixes everything. Or I shouldn't say fixes, but big stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
What's the number?
Okay. You want to look?
You're looking at it too much. You're getting me scared.
Yikes.
Yikesies! Oh no!
I want you to know, August.
Ho.
My backup plan was to flurry of blows physically knock sense. If not, cut
Ho.
Pinocchios and have this.
I want you to describe to me what is about to happen.
I feel like knowing this, like, oh yeah, knock sense, and then it's like old lessons from all 3 of my former masters. Violence is never always the answer.
Violence is... Yeah, you're getting ready to, like, literally smack Artie in the head, and you hear Shifu, Kai, just all these... Violence was never the answer. You take off your Enochian amulet.
Gabriel and Eddie cuts buff. Let's cut some strings.
As Poe leans down, you hear someone... What the hell is a big fat panda going to do? Holy shit! Boom! Poe starts running on a 97 percentile. Poe runs around the room, and you are scissor kicking, cut kicking, straight up just real scissor.
I didn't think I'd be the one doing this.
You are filled with celestial radiance as Gabriel works through you to cut every string. Pinocchio, and for the first time in years, you're standing on your own accord. You are not held up by anything. And I think for a moment, you almost fall. Artie, you are out of the charm condition. You are not charmed
And
whatsoever.
anyone else who's being held by strings in this room.
I'm going to say, it wasn't 100, so it can't be insane, but it might be a lot easier as Poe's just going, cut, scissors, beats, paper, and just like, everything goes nuts in this insane turn. Poe, that is your whole turn. But what a turn.
I'm gonna look over at Artie.
That was awesome.
And so,
You remember Envy? Let's teach him a lesson.
Artie, that's your turn.
Not you though. You're still chill.
How far away is Charming?
You're a vibe. You're honestly vibing still.
No, you gave me the eye. I'm gonna kill you now.
No. Artie's giving you that eye.
So,
I'm looking at you like,
yeah, Poe gives that whole thing. Artie, your condition ends. All of the enemies, I'm gonna say on a 97, that's surprise. They had no clue that was gonna happen. As a fair DM, they did not prepare held actions for that eventuality. We weren't expecting the panda to go full Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon and just fly through the air and cut everything. Artie.
I forgot to say that.
How far away is Charming?
I pulled out
Sorry.
my sending stone that I've been speaking to Charming with and go,
Pinocchio had a sending stone to Charming, throws it away. Sorry. Artie, can you repeat your question? I'm so sorry.
How far away is Charming from me? Yeah.
Right now, Charming is only 60 feet away.
I still have my movement. I'd like to get
Oh,
in
that's
front of Artie.
perfect.
It would take your movement to do that.
Right.
Yes. Alright.
I'm just gonna look at him and I'm gonna say, that's a nice speech. And then, have you guys ever seen My Hero Academia? That one scene where Bakugo just flies like standing?
Oh my! Like
And then I'm gonna be right on his face, and I'm gonna whisper, "Too bad you're still gonna die."
Oh,
And then I'm about to slash him.
Artie,
The rescue.
boom!
Bakugo.
It's the full Bakugo. Phew, you are right up next to him.
Die, Deku.
Go ahead and take these attacks, my guy.
A 32 hit.
A 32 does hit.
Perfect. That's great.
32.
That's 21 slashing damage. Then I'm gonna attack
How
again.
about Charming? Like,
Does a 27 hit?
A 27 will not hit.
Oh.
As Charming will cast Shield. And
How long does shield last?
as how this happens is your 27, you know it's going to hit. How I'm gonna flavor this is Charming, lightning fast, takes 2 fingers and catches your blade, very anime style, and says,
wait a minute.
"My little puppet did some great work." Artie, Pinocchio gave Charming the secret of superhumans.
Yeah.
As Charming has a
Equal.
high AC, and he's got a little bit of magic to do some shields. So Artie, a 20. I will let you know, a 27 just barely doesn't hit though. Like it did cost
That's
him his.
cool. That's cool. I'm gonna action search.
Action surge!
And that's when you didn't even suspect me.
And I'm gonna swing again.
Artie,
But I'm gonna stamina point this time.
Hell
If
yeah!
I hit.
Boom! Action surge, stamina point. Go for the swing.
Natural 20.
Oh!
I'm rooting for both sides.
Pinocchio,
Wait, I'm gonna roll the other D20 just in case. What if I am extremely lucky today and we just...
And you stamina that.
Artie, you stamina this. What is your max damage in this moment?
It's 4d6 plus 10, so it's technically 34.
But that's nat 20. Would it be max?
Well, nat 20 is already doubling the dice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a
2d6,
60...
12 becomes another 12, 24 becomes 10. 34 points of unavoidable damage. Artie, you deal this. You Charming catches it like, oh, I already know this secret. And you turn, and it's a full 360, boom, and cut through. You slice through Charming's coat and see blood. As he, you little bitch!
Oh, let me do the second attack. Sorry, that was...
Oh yeah, you're good. Second attack, because you action surge, my guy.
Yeah, it's a 26 to hit on the second attack.
So unfortunately,
Is his shield
is
still up?
You boom! I will say, because it's your crit that just cuts through, like you rip out of his fingers, cut across his chest, and he actually has a bit of blood on him. As Charming looks at you, I see you want to end this in blood, minions! And you watch all the bad guys rush forward, and that's where we're gonna end tonight's session. Thank you all so very much for playing. Thank you all for listening. And I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.
I've been